Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town.
The only podcast in town.
Nope, that's wrong again. It's the only podcast around.
It'll never be wrong. I'm always right.
I mean, technically, like in real life, that is more true because there are more than one podcast, but in our lore, there's only one.
Is there more than one around here?
No, we're the only podcast.
I think we are. We're the only podcast in town.
No, we're the only podcast around.
We're also the only podcast in town.
Yes. Both are true, but one is more true than the other.
So how am I wrong if they're both true?
Like I said, logically, you're right. Like, we're the only podcast in town. But if we're the only podcast around, that means we're the only podcast.
Well, no, around doesn't specifically mean everywhere. It just means around here.
No, it means around the world.
I mean, we could be the only people recording a podcast right now.
Probably not.
No,
Oh, Cena is getting...
Cena?
Cena is trying to get that hamburger.
I actually just elbowed her in there.
Well, she was trying to get the burger.
She's trying to sneak up
Cena!
on me.
Alrighty. Let's start things off with a brief rundown of the docket for you guys. We got Emmys, we got trailers, we got Supermen and Super Deadpools, and also Microsoft's.
What a lineup.
All those things, and also Tom Cruise is here in the studio with us right now.
Nope, he's right back there.
You just can't see him.
Mm-hmm. He's just he won't shut up about movie magic.
He
and how
keeps
much
talking
he loves
about
movie magic.
some alien space lord named Xenu for some reason. I don't really know what he's on about.
Scientology pamphlets. I don't know what's going on over there.
But trust me, he is here for real and not for a meme.
Nope.
Max, you got anything to add?
He's
Max
not even
is
near a
massaging his shoulder with a Theragun.
And he's 60 feet from a microphone.
All right, cool. All right, let's start things off. We have Microsoft has finally finished their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So this deal has been going on for quite a while now. I don't remember exactly what, I think it started around 2 years ago, I think is when they started the deal. But they were held up by the EU and then the United States FTC and now the EU again. But at least in America, the deal has officially passed through the FTC and is good to go, and they're merging now.
Woo! More big company.
So less competition is always bad for the consumer, but
no, I think this is good.
But also, it's on all the Call of Duties are on Game Pass now, so I'm winning.
Weren't they already on Game Pass?
2 of them were, but now all of them are.
Ooh.
No, stop trying to eat my food.
Jeez.
Stop trying to eat my sandwich,
She's
you little
decided
gremlin
to just
dog.
go for it today.
No.
Normally she just sits there and waits for you to drop something, but today she's on the
going in.
offense. I don't think she's eaten dinner yet. That's probably why. But Sam, I think this is actively a good. I think we should have all of the companies be bought by one big company so that we can all.
Oh, and she's unplugging stuff now. All right.
I think every company being owned by Microsoft is good, and I think that's the goal we should work towards.
The more studios Microsoft acquires and then does nothing with, the better.
Hey, the Psychonauts 2 people did end up making Psychonauts 2.
Yes, you know who Microsoft already owned?
Who's that?
The Psychonauts people. None of the studios they've bought recently have amounted to anything.
Studios that they own.
Bethesda has not made a game since Microsoft bought them. Except,
Xbox Game Studios. Is Xbox Game Studios the umbrella or is...
Yeah, that's the umbrella for all the studios they own.
Subsidiaries 343. They made Halo. When was that? It was 3 years ago? Last Halo game?
They didn't buy them though.
No, they created them. To make it just Halo.
Yeah.
Double Fine. They just made, let's see, Brutal Legend. Did that ever? Nope. So, yeah, they just made Psychonauts. Mojang just continues to do Minecraft.
Okay, wait, Minecraft Legends. That's a new game, technically.
Game, in quotes.
Okay, I didn't say it was fun, but they have at least made a game since being bought by Microsoft.
What about Ninja Theory?
What does Ninja Theory even make?
They made a Hellblade.
Oh, but that used to be an indie. They haven't made a game since they got bought by
No, but
Microsoft.
they're making another Hellblade. That's on the way.
I'm saying, how many studios has Microsoft bought, and then they released a game?
Double
after
Fine.
being bought. Not just working on a game, but released a game. We assume they're all working on
Ninja
games.
Theory is actually that has a release date, I'm pretty sure. Mojang, Rare.
Rare, I think, actually just stopped existing when they got bought by Microsoft.
I think see. I mean, there's so many. I mean, Bethesda's made a bunch.
No, Bethesda hasn't done anything. They've been
they have.
working on Starfield. That's it.
Didn't they buy? Didn't they make Dune? Dune Eternal? Didn't that come out after they were bought?
Doom Eternal did, I think.
Let's see. They bought Bethesda in 2021. Have they made? They made Redfall, Ghostwire Tokyo. They did Deathloop.
Redfall.
They've done 3 games, and then Starfield's coming out at some point. Probably not this year.
Okay, so Bethesda they've been working.
That's still supposed to come out in September.
Starfield?
Yeah.
Starfield is supposed to come out in September, I believe.
I don't believe that's going to happen.
I think it has to. I think they've got to eventually release it. Like,
wasn't it supposed to come out in like 2021?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out like, okay.
When was the E3 that they revealed the release date?
2021, I think they gave it a hard release date.
Yeah. No.
For 2022. And then, but this was the first time they'd ever like shown us a release date. Like they'd always given us release dates, but never met them. The first time they showed us in a trailer a release date was 2021, and
companies
it was set to release in 2022, and then that never happened.
Every game's release date needs to be announced like 2 months before it comes out.
Yeah.
Because
no, honestly, that's not even the problem. They just need to not announce games until the year it comes out.
That's like a whole problem. But like, honestly, if you just announce the release date of a game 2 months before it comes out, it wouldn't affect it at all in comparison to like announcing it 3 years before.
Yeah, because then people would actually be hyped.
Because also game release dates don't really matter.
I think the fact that they announced it so far out has ruined the hype for like almost every major release.
Well, it doesn't matter what weekend a game releases. Like, that barely ever affects the sales of a game. People are either going to play it at some point or they're just not.
Yeah.
Like, movies target certain release dates for like who audience breakdown. Are kids out of school? Is it a holiday weekend? What normally performs well this week in theaters? Like, they have like a whole reasoning for that, and television's the same.
Well, games have the holiday season. They sell a lot of games.
But like, other than that, like, there's no difference between releasing it in the middle of September or the middle of March or the end of July. Like, it doesn't affect games at all.
Well, okay, September, I would argue that's around the beginning of the holiday like season. Like
September?
That's when people start buying stuff.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
No.
You ever been to a Target in September?
Yep. It's filled with Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Are you counting that
Halloween
as the holidays?
is the first yeah, that's the first of the like holiday stuff.
Are you saying the holidays as in like December holidays, or like the 3 big holidays at the end?
3 big holidays at the end of the year that come like 1 month apart.
But no one buys like stuff for Halloween.
Yeah, they do. They buy
Halloween decorations. But
buy
no one's like,
game.
well, it's Halloween. I gotta get my.
What if you want to play a spooky game on Halloween?
That's a whole other thing. But like, when you say like a holiday game, you're thinking like parents buying this for their kid for Christmas. That doesn't really start until November. September, October is just Halloween stuff and back to school and stuff like that. Labor Day. Anyway, so why was this being held up? Just because they would have a big share of the gaming
Just because
industry?
it would be basically it would be absurd for them to own that much market share.
Well, what does Activision really do?
They make Call of Duty.
Other than do Call of Duty.
That's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... And they already said it's going to be still on every other platform anyway, so this isn't really going to change anything.
What it changes is competition. They don't compete with each other anymore.
I guess not, but they weren't really competing before.
But that's because Microsoft is lazy, not because they're not supposed to compete. It's because Microsoft gave up. But in a functioning economy, logically, they would be competing for game sales.
I don't think... When's the last time Activision made a video game?
Like, think about it this way. When Halo 2 and 3 came out, like around the golden age of Halo, right? A lot of kids chose, do I buy Call of Duty or do I buy Halo? Like, for some families, that's a decision that you make because you only have so much money. That's competition, then you have to figure out, which game's better.
Yeah, they're competing in software, but
which ones do my friends play? There's competition. Now there's no competition. Microsoft just eats everything, and then they have no incentive to make it better. They'll just keep pumping it out.
Crash Team Rumble, So they haven't. So pretty much their entire games output for like the past 3 to 4 years is just Crash Bandicoot and Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, it's Activision.
And remasters of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Technically released a version of
They
Overwatch
they
that
did
claim is
Sekiro.
new.
Oh no, they just published the Sekiro port for the Stadia. Remember the Google Stadia?
Mm-hmm.
Dog's back.
Yeah, generally speaking, in an economy, the more competing companies there are, the better it is for you. Because the more options you have, the more the price goes down, the more the product gets better, right?
Mm-hmm.
When one company owns all the companies, they're not competing with each other. So they're guaranteed to get your money. So there's no incentive for them to make a better product, and they can just pick a super high price that you have to pay.
That is generally true, but in this scenario, Activision had already let their quality of product slip all the way down into the gutter, so I don't really see how it can get worse.
That's true, and you could make an argument for that.
Call of Duty is not going to get any better or worse than Call of Duty already is.
I mean, but it definitely, it's guaranteed to not get better now. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
It wasn't going to before.
But that's because there's no competition for Call of Duty. What's competing with Call of Duty?
I mean, there's a million FPS games.
Yeah, but none that are, like, big.
Call of Duty is big because it's called Call of Duty.
Yeah,
because of the brand at this point.
So make a game called Duty of Call, and then there you go.
No, but Call of Duty at this point sells as much as if it does because it is the Call of Duty game.
Yeah,
Like, it's not because it's good at anything. The reason it sold well initially was because it was good at what it was trying to be. That hasn't been the case for 10 years. At this point, it's just the game kids buy because it's called Call of Duty. And so even if it sucks and there's other better World War II shooters out there, they're still just going to buy Call of Duty.
It's the McDonald's of video games.
Yeah. There are other people who are doing McDonald's better than McDonald's, but it's McDonald's.
Exactly. Also, it's like Pokemon, you know? They don't have to get better. They just keep making
They've been trying a little bit.
But if they had competition, they'd probably try a lot harder.
They did. Remember Digimon?
Yep.
Remember Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch actually still sells crazy, just not in America.
Do they still make Yokai Watch games?
I think they do, but they stopped releasing them in America.
Makes sense. I don't think anyone was buying them.
I think they only release them in Japan now. Which, I mean, makes sense, because, you know...
That's is it on the Switch now?
I don't know. They may have stopped making them when the Switch transition happened. Because I haven't heard about it since the Switch, but I know it was huge on the 3DS, at least.
Let's see. Media. Yokai Watch.
I know there were two that didn't release in America.
Yokai Watch 4 was the last one. That came out on the Switch in Japan. It has not come to the
Oh, okay. So they are on the
Switch in America at all.
Well, you could probably still get it if you do the profile switch thing.
It was on PS4 as well.
It's on PS4?
Mm-hmm.
That was a Nintendo exclusive.
Apparently not. Yokai Watch 4 was later released as both paid DLC as well as retail for both the Switch and PlayStation 4 in December of 2019.
Man, no one knows how to name things like Nintendo.
Well, this was the people who make Yokai Watch, which is not Nintendo.
Yeah, and the same with Game Freak is not Nintendo.
Shogakukan Incorporated.
I'm sure that's exactly how that is said.
I said I'm sorry. I know that's not how it's pronounced.
All right.
That's just how I'm reading it.
Do we have any? I think that's pretty much it for the Microsoft Action. I mean, it's cool to see them come to Game Pass, but I don't really care about Call of Duty, so, you know, that doesn't really affect me that way. Anyway, let's talk about Deadpool 3.
There's been some set photos. They're shooting right now for at least another 4 hours. We'll see if the actor strike shuts this down before it even really ramps up. But we got some set photos of Deadpool, of Ryan Reynolds in the full Deadpool outfit, slightly different.
It's a different red.
From the last Deadpool movie all the way back in 2018.
They took the color slider and they changed it a little bit.
It's a little bit brighter red. It looks like it's less like leathery than the last one.
Yeah, it looks more spandexy.
It looks more like a cloth. His belt buckle now has like it looks more like the actual Deadpool logo.
Yeah.
He's got a shoulder strap. He's got the gold accents. His eyes look a little bit smaller, but I also feel like they do those are mostly in VFX anyway, so they'll do that in post. But the main headline was that we got a first look at the Wolverine suit,
which for some reason is the first time he's ever had a comic accurate suit, which is weird. Since he's been in like how many X-Men movies? Like 18 X-Men movies, I think it's at this point. I mean, he's been Wolverine for 18 years.
He was Wolverine for 17 years.
18 if you count this year. Like if you add it all.
Oh yeah, I guess if you skip forward, it's 20. That'll be 24 years.
24 years of him as the only version of Wolverine.
Yep.
There's been 3 Spider-Mans.
And plus cartoon Spider-Man.
And 2 Supermans. Maybe 3
No,
Supermans.
3 Supermans.
Maybe 3. If
No,
if
by the
he's
time
still
this comes out,
Wolverine.
there will have just been the 2.
Well,
We won't have gotten to the third.
But if no one else plays Wolverine before Superman Legacy comes out,
that's true.
then he
He'll
will
still
have
been
been
the only
there will have
Wolverine.
been 3 Supermans.
I think he's going to be the only Wolverine.
Yeah,
Until
just
at least,
forever,
like,
just until he's
2029.
dead.
Well, until the MCU does their own version of the X-Men,
Yeah, which is never gonna happen.
which is not going to happen until after Secret Wars.
Why didn't they just do the X-Men?
Hmm.
That still makes no sense to me. Why they were like, you know what? We just spent a lot of money buying all these X-Men characters. Let's do nothing with them for a decade and just spin our wheels.
They got to work it into their grand plan.
The way you work it into the grand plan is you start making some movies about them.
Well, so there's been a couple. So we got to first look at his suit. I just want to say it looks great. I really like it. This movie is kind of interesting me.
I think this is one of the best comic book suits we've seen in a while. Like just in terms of just the
I'm
costume
a
looking
sucker
cool.
for bright yellow, colorful superhero costumes in live action.
Well, they did
that
a-
are just ripped straight from the pages.
They did a
regardless
really
how
good
goofy
job
they
of
look.
taking the comic suit and modernizing it a little bit because there's still a little bit of like the little armor bits on there.
It looks goofy, but I like it when they look goofy.
Which is like Wolverine doesn't really need armor bits because he's kind of invincible, but you know it looks cool. I like it. I
He's
like
even
the way it
got
looks.
the little X logo on his belt. He's got big dumb shoulder pads. They gave this one sleeves.
My question is, if he's got the X-Men logo on his belt, are there other X-Men in the movie in suits?
No.
Are we gonna see a yellow suited up X-Men crew?
So there's also been a bunch of rumors and some confirmed stuff about this movie. One, we saw set photos of Wolverine and Deadpool fighting, and in the background, there's a big 20th Century Fox logo that's like destroyed and collapsed,
Interesting.
like in the middle of a field. So it's like it's like literally like the post-apocalyptic Fox X-Men universe,
Interesting.
where there's literally like the 20th Century Fox logo that you like see at the beginning of Fox movies, like it's lying there. And then it was confirmed that Jennifer Garner is returning to play Elektra in this
Okay.
movie. She played Elektra in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, like
all the way back in
2003.
I
think?
want to say 2003.
It was either 2003 or 2006.
I believe it was 2003. Yeah, and then she got a spin-off movie off of that, the Elektra spin-off, which was a massive bomb.
And no one knows when that movie came out because I'm convinced it just doesn't exist.
That
and
movie
it's
came
actually
out 2 years later.
just a like an agreed upon delusion of society.
Yeah. And there's rumors all about that Ben Affleck is also coming back to play Daredevil.
Why?
And I feel like if she's coming back, he probably is in some capacity.
I mean, he has to. Why would they do just one of them?
I doubt that like he'll put on a Daredevil suit again, because I don't think Ben Affleck wants to do any more like running around in a superhero outfit.
Yeah, he'll do it.
The man is in his mid-50s.
He did it for the Flash. He'll do it for this.
He didn't really do it for Flash.
He did it. Did you see the way his chin was smushed into that mask?
They got him in that suit, that terrible, terrible Batman suit. But I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't be. Also, Jennifer Garner is like his ex-wife, so I don't know if he'd want to like how that would affect it. I don't know. But
I don't know. I
feel like it would be weird if they brought back her and not him. And I feel like they're gonna work it in a way where like that movie, because the Daredevil movie was made by Fox. At one point, Fox owned the rights to Daredevil, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, all three. And at multiple separate times, they had plans to cross them over in a movie that just never came about.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna retroactively like have that Daredevil movie have taken place in the Fox X-Men universe, and everyone's pretty much saying that we're getting the entire original X-Men cast coming back in this movie.
That seems too big.
People are calling it the No Way Home of the Fox X-Men universe.
That's too big for Deadpool 3.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, I think that should be called something else.
X-Men Adventures in Time?
It should be called X-Men and then some title. but the subtitle has been scribbled out with a red marker, and it says Deadpool 3.
That could just be the logo movie.
Yeah,
That
that's what it should be.
That
Because
wouldn't
it's
be
an
the title.
X-Men movie that Deadpool
No.
like hijacked.
I feel like it's still gonna be like. I feel like the movie is gonna be Deadpool and Wolverine doing like a buddy road trip through different multiverses.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because we know that also the TVA are gonna be in it. Owen Wilson's gonna be Mobius for at least a little bit, and the villain is gonna be, I forget. A lot of the plot has leaked, and I can see if I can find
I think mayhaps they are doing too much.
I mean,
I'm
probably.
It's giving Flash. It's giving doing way too much. Doing too much, and it's going to end up being dumb.
Let's see. So there's been multiple Deadpool 3 plot leaks.
Do we know how long it's supposed to be?
Oh, what? That's not.
No, but like, if they're targeting like a 3-hour movie, then
There's no way this is 3 hours. If this is 3 hours, then I don't care.
if it's a half X-Men, half multiverse, half Wolverine, Deadpool, buddy cop,
they don't have
adventure
to
time
introduce.
movie,
I mean, but it's all.
then that's a lot of stuff.
But
that
it's
they're
already.
doing.
We've already we know these X-Men. It's not like we're introducing them.
I'm not saying you got to introduce them, but you got to explain why the the multiverse is collapsing or whatever.
They've already done that in like 3 other movies.
Yes, but every single time they do it, it's a little bit different.
We did the multiverse in No Way Home. We did the multiverse in Loki. We've done the multiverse at Doctor Strange and the multiverse of Magnus. And we're also going to do the multiverse in Loki season 2. And we did a little bit of it in
You know what they
Ant-3.
do every time they do that?
What's that?
They re-explain it every time.
Not really.
Yeah, pretty much.
When they did the Infinity Stones, they didn't stop and then re-discuss how the Infinity
No,
Stones
but that
work
was the
every single
Infinity
time.
Stones, and I'm not talking about the Infinity Stones. I'm talking about the multiverse.
You don't have to explain the multiverse to the audience.
You're right, but they do it every time anyways.
But you're okay. That's a stupid way to be thinking this is gonna work.
No, but what do you mean? Every time they've done a multiverse movie, in Spider-Man, in Multiverse of Madness, in freaking the other Spider-Man that's also a multiverse, in the other Loki, they're always like, this is how the multiverse works, and these are the rules. Like each time they do it, the rules are just a little bit different every single time.
I think Kevin Feige is smart enough to know that we're in phase 5, which is phase 2 of the multiverse saga, that you don't have to stop and re-explain the multiverse
It's
again.
not that they have to re-explain it. It's that every time they do a new multiverse thing, the rules are different.
How have the rules changed?
In Spider-Man No Way Home, there's like guys from all over coming in. In Multiverse of Madness, incursions are a thing now that I guess just didn't matter before. In Loki, incursions I guess also don't matter, and also time travel now. It's not the multiverse, it's different. But it is still kind of multiverse because we're clipping off the multiverse, making sure that doesn't happen. And then I don't know. And then this movie, they're gonna add another thing or just ignore other rules. Like what I'm saying is like the rules are just they change every single time. They're not consistent.
In this movie, Deadpool's gonna get a hold of a device that opens a big portal, and then he goes through the portal and he goes to another.
Okay, but that's not a story. That's just a thing happens.
And he's gonna be chased around by whoever the villain is, probably someone who.
But the TVA is defunct at this point.
No, it isn't.
What do they do?
The same thing they did before.
No, they don't. Because if the multiverse exists, we know for a fact they're not doing what they did before.
Well, that's true, but
they're what are they just
we know
around?
they're gonna be. Well, at the end of Loki, we see that they still exist, but they're run by Kang or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And my guess is whatever they've been up to is going to be in
We'll
Loki
find
season
out
2,
in
which comes
Deadpool
out before Deadpool 3. So we'll know.
When does Loki season 2 come out?
In October.
And is that done filming?
Yeah, and Deadpool 3 comes out in May of next year if it doesn't get delayed, which it probably will.
Yeah, consider the timeline for every single movie you've ever been hyped for pushed back by at least a year.
So Loki's already shot, Echo's already shot, the Marvels is already shot. So
Yeah, Marvels is coming out in a month?
in November. But
Yeah, a couple months.
all of the MCU stuff for this year, that's all locked in. That's not moving.
Not Blade.
Blade is supposed to come out in 4 years. But
Well, it was supposed to come out this
at
year.
one point, it never is. It's never going.
It's never going to come out.
But-
Sorry, what's his name?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala
You'll be
Ali.
65 by the time that movie.
He's going to be as old as the guy who played Blade in the first one is now when that one comes out.
Everything in for this year is probably going to come out still. Next year, It's all in the air. It's all shuffling. Although I think Captain America's done filming.
Captain America, the one with the title they just changed?
Yeah, but that I believe is also supposed to come out after Deadpool. But if that one's done shooting and Deadpool isn't done shooting and then there's an actor strike, they'll probably switch those.
Yeah.
But also, who knows, because Captain America probably has, or might have more VFX, I don't know. But Deadpool 3 is also supposed to be an R-rated movie. So I don't know how much that's going to affect, like, how much it connects to everything
That's
else.
never affected Deadpool's.
No, but I feel it's never affected Deadpool, but I feel like in terms of interconnectivity to everything else,
You're saying they don't want to put a lot of stuff
they don't
in
want
it?
to put a lot of important stuff in this because this one is like the little kids can't see, like the kids can't see this one.
What if they release 2 cuts?
Which is why I think this one will be not completely
You know what?
self-contained, but somewhat self-contained.
You know how they like did like baby cuts of like Winter Soldier and stuff on Disney Plus? They like CGI'd out some of the like the I wonder if they're not going to release a baby cut on Disney Plus.
They could later on,
And then they'll just dual release
but not in theaters.
Not in theaters, but I'm saying like I wonder if going forward with Deadpool, they'll do dual releases, one PG-13, one R.
I mean, they did that with
time.
Deadpool too. They did like the Christmas. Deadpool
Yeah, I'm
2
saying
recap.
that. What if that just becomes how Deadpool movies are? There's just always 2 versions.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of annoying. And I don't.
And in one version, he kidnaps like a '80s actor, and like
In each
every
single,
time.
they do the same thing every single time.
yeah, it's just a different person that he's like reading a story to every time.
Nah, I mean you could do that. I feel like it'd be kind of confusing to people.
I think they would figure it out after like the 3rd one.
And I feel like if you're going to do that, why not just make it PG-13? Because then
'Cause
you obviously don't care. If you're just
'Cause
going to
people-
re-edit it,
People
6 months
want
later.
it to be rated R, and it makes money, so there's no reason not to.
But if you're going to edit it to be PG-13 to open it up to the audience anyway, just have the original movie be PG-13, and then you make more money from the theatrical run.
No, but you can make double money if you do dual release.
Not on Disney Plus. You wouldn't make
No,
double
but
money.
on,
You'd make the same amount.
just
of
do
money
they
you're
what they
making
did with
before.
Deadpool too. Just put it in the theaters twice.
But that one, that one didn't do anything in theaters.
Yeah, but it did more than not releasing it in theaters.
They could do a PG-13
Because it's
cut.
also
I don't
really
see
cheap.
why.
All you have to do is bleep stuff out and like add a couple expository scenes like every once in a while. Like it's not expensive to do that.
I guess
It's basically just a money glitch. Like you take a movie you already made your money on, add a couple scenes, bleep out have one editor bleep out the F word, and then pop it back into the theater.
All right, so there's a plot leak for Deadpool 3.
Has it been taken down by Marvel?
No, it's on Reddit.
Ah, then it's not real.
But this is probably not real. But I
Because
can
Marvel takes
let me
down
read it
all
to
the
you.
real plot leaks.
Let me read it to you if you don't want to know anything.
Skip ahead.
Skip ahead.
Just take that thing, drag it like maybe 20-ish minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So Deadpool. So at the start of the movie, Deadpool's arrested for messing around with time using Cable's device at the end of Deadpool 2.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Cable and Domino do not appear in the movie.
That does not make sense.
So but that we know because they are not in the cast for this one.
That's lame.
So the people coming back. So here's who we know is in the cast for sure. So Ryan Reynolds is coming back. Hugh Jackman's coming back. Marina Baccarin, who plays his fiance, is coming back. Negasonic Teenage Warhead's coming back. Blind Owl's coming back. Dopender, Colossus, Yukio,
Okay, so we got all the main people.
Peter. They're all coming back.
So just Domino and...
Just Domino and Cable aren't coming back. So anyone who was in the X-Force stuff, they're not coming back. But everyone...
Yeah, I mean, well, Peter was in the X-Force, right?
Yeah, but he's...
Wait, didn't he die? Is he just alive now?
Well, he could be alive in another dimension.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. So Cable and Domino do not appear, but they're mentioned by a judge for the TVA who's going to be played by Emma Corrin. The TVA returned Cable to his original time period in exchange for confiscating his time travel technology, which would probably be the excuse
That's
for
why he's not
in
there,
it.
yeah.
The TVA is not fond of the X-Men movies' various methods of time travel, because in those movies they do...
Oh, Days of Future Past,
Cable
I
does
guess?
time travel, Kitty Pryde does time travel, which would make sense if this all exists in the same multiverse that the TVA would know about that.
So wait, does that mean that the Fox X-Men movies are canon in the MCU
Everything
then?
is canon in the...
No, but I mean in the main...
No.
They would have to.
Why?
Because otherwise the TVA would have just not allowed that timeline to exist.
Well, okay, so at the end of Loki, when they go back to the beginning of time and they open up the multiverse, that changed everything. So now that Now there is a multiverse.
Yes, but we don't know when this takes place. Is it before or after Loki season 1?
Well, when they opened up the multiverse at the end of Loki season 1, that took place before everything.
But there was a point of time.
They went to a place outside of time and space where that happened. So that multiverse was then retroactively in existence from the beginning.
Technically, yes. But there was also an infinite amount of time before that where there was one timeline.
Yes.
So is this before or after Loki?
This is in the multiverse.
Happens? Yes, but which multiverse?
One of the Fox X-Men ones. Because the Fox X-Men timeline is already like ridiculously jacked up.
Because we know Loki happens technically before everything in the MCU.
Some parts of Loki.
Okay, technically, phase 1 through 3 of the MCU happens.
Yep.
Loki happens.
Correct.
All that stuff still happens, but there's also multiverses now. So
yep, that was
again.
retroactively inserted.
Yes. And then... But we don't know, because they could do it. They could just say the X-Men always existed in the MCU and just
You think it'll
really
be the same?
it.
No. They wouldn't do, like...
But they could.
Hugh Jackman Wolverine was running around in the same timeline as Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, and they just...
Why not?
Because that would be horribly confusing to everybody.
Would it?
Because then you're retroactively fitting in, like, 15 movies that are of varying quality and have a bunch of continuity issues, and then you're introducing a separate continuity issue of why were none of these people ever mentioned in any of the other movies, and why didn't they help with
in Winter Soldier, some of them were.
On that screen, on the
Easter
they
were on the
screen,
Hydra
that
roster.
Doesn't count.
Why not?
Because that was an Easter egg. That wasn't an actual plot thing.
And
Doctor Strange was on that list, and canonically, he was just a surgeon at that point.
In whichever movie, I think it was either Captain America or the Hulk, one of them, Nick Fury has like his screen with all those different like people on it, and some of them are also X-Men characters. So actually, it makes more sense if the X-Men are there than if they're not.
They're not going to do that. I'm telling you now, that's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because they wouldn't do that.
But why?
Because that doesn't have the Marvel Studios logo on it. Those are not Marvel
Studios. It still
Studios
says Marvel every time the movie plays.
It says in association with Marvel.
That's the same thing.
That doesn't count.
That's the same thing.
No, they wouldn't. I feel like... Because then, again, you're adding 17 movies of varying quality and with a bunch of internal contradictions into the universe, and that's just horribly confusing for everybody.
Then you just have one scene...
They're going to do the same thing. They're going to do it the same way they had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man be in Spider-Man No Way Home, where they were just in their own universes, and then they just show up. And
it's an
SNL sketch. Like, they're going to do the same thing. So, yeah, they're not fond of the Fox X-Men time travel stuff because it's always a hassle to clean up. Before he's sentenced to erasure, Deadpool gets leniency due to pleadings by TVA agent Paradox. He's going to be played by Matthew McFadden.
Okay.
Apparently, Paradox is going to be the main villain of the movie. Who Deadpool insists on calling Bob because his name sounds too long, asking the judge to...
But he already has a friend named Bob.
You're thinking of Peter.
No, I'm thinking of Bob. You're thinking of Peter.
Who's Bob?
Bob is that one guy that's like a goon who works for like every villain Deadpool fights.
Oh,
that, he occasionally says hi to.
Oh, but the Hydra agent?
Yeah, he's a Hydra agent, but he also works for like every. He's in Deadpool 1.
He's in Deadpool 1 for like a second. But
yeah, Bob's always around.
Doesn't he kill him in that movie?
No, he just like he hits him in the head with something. He knocks him out, but he doesn't kill him.
So they let him make up for his crimes by helping him on a mission for the TVA, and I feel like that part is probably going to happen in some way, shape, or form. We know the TVA is in this. He does a bunch of time travel shenanigans in Deadpool 2. I feel like those are going to link up.
You know how
and it's all but confirmed that Paradox is in this movie, so I feel like that's true.
You know how Indian Spider-Man and like his taxi driver friend are played by the same guy?
Yeah.
What if that's like the same person, just in one universe he's like a serial killer taxi driver, and in one he became Spider-Man?
Sure, why not?
That'd be funny.
They would never do that because
it'd be funny.
Spider-Man be in this, but
no, but that's he never got bit by the spider in their. This is the universe where regular Peter Parker
that can
gets
be
bit
your
by the
fan
spider.
theory, Sam.
That's my fan fiction.
So okay, all of the rest of this I'm more doubtful of. So when 616 Wanda died, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she got crushed by all those rocks, her spirit inhabited the body of 838 Wanda. 838 Wanda was
the one from the
Illuminati
universe.
dimension, right? Okay. So, however, the struggle for control damaged her mind, eviscerating the 838 Earth. As a result, 838 has been changed into a new world, House of M style, where Magneto, who would be played by Ian McKellen.
Yeah, see, they're doing too much. That's
Rules
not
the
it.
Earth, and mutants are the majority of the population. The X-Men, styled after their 90s cartoon designs, which we saw Wolverine in that outfit, so that tracks, would be played by most of the Singer cast, so the original cast from the 2000s movies. So
There's no way that's too much.
So it wouldn't. So the X-Men from like X-Men Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, those versions would not be in it. It would be the versions from the original 3 movies back in the early 2000s. So James Marsden,
But they would all be wearing different
Halle
outfits.
Berry, Vamka Jensen, Patrick Stewart again, that 98-year-old geezer, he's coming back, and they would all be dressed.
There's
like
no way that that's true. That's way too confusing to explain.
However, we saw Wolverine in that outfit, and in the 838 dimension in Multiverse of Madness, we saw Patrick Stewart in the big cartoon chair.
Okay, but we also saw Wolverine get that outfit at the end of whatever.
No,
the
that
movie
was a
he was in.
deleted scene.
Yeah,
Never
but
in
it's
the
the same.
movie.
We know he has the outfit.
So you think that is going to be? I'm confused. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it'll just be the main X-Men continuity, right? I think Deadpool will be looking for Wolverine because he needs him he needs his help with something. He learns that Wolverine is dead in his universe, so he time travels back, gets Wolverine from the past, brings him to the future, or maybe another universe, and he's got the weird outfit. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna go to like 90s cartoon X-Men universe, but it used to be 838, but Wanda like messed it up. That's like way too confusing. If anything, they would just go to a universe where it's just like
Again,
that.
I don't know.
Why would you try to incorporate 838 into it? Just be like, this is another universe where this is just how it is.
So they work. So the X-Men work for Magneto to protect the mutant world from the Human Brotherhood, made up of some of the supporting characters from other movies. So which apparently is going to be Nick Fury, Jimmy Woo, Dopender, and Pete. Pete from Deadpool 2, Dopender,
Just
and
a
then,
random regular man.
as well as sympathetic mutants Colossus, Yukio, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Wolverine. So the X-Men would work for Magneto, but some of them went rogue and are their own team, and the rogue team is like all the old Deadpool.
The House of M,
but they wouldn't be the main versions of themselves; it'd be the versions of them from another.
doing like a House of M universe. I think that'd be a fine way to like go about doing this. My issue is trying to take that random multiverse location from Doctor Strange and like trying to merge it into a House of M universe. Like I said, that would require a lot of explaining, and most audiences are just gonna go, huh?
Well,
wait. Wanda, who is dead. Wait, okay, hang on. Wanda, who was good, but then who was bad, but then who was good, but then who was bad again. Actually, she started bad. So she was bad, then good, then bad, then good, then bad again. Went to another universe where her brain got fused with another version of herself, which caused her to go crazy and make the whole world into Days of Future Past, but the opposite. And also, some of Deadpool's friends in this universe are good guys, but not his friends from his universe. His different versions of his friends in a different universe. And Deadpool's also here for some reason. And he teams up with Nick Fury and they fight Magneto. That's way too much.
Well, the Wanda 838 stuff, that was all in Multiverse of Madness. So they don't really need to explain that. We saw that.
But we didn't see the House of M thing happen.
No, we didn't. That would have to be explained. But like,
and didn't she die?
Did she?
I'm pretty sure that she died.
I don't think she did.
Wanda definitely died.
Oh, main Wanda did, but
yeah,
the other Wanda.
But her brain didn't get stuck over there.
It could have been residual magic power. I don't know, Sam. I'm just reading the thing.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Did Wanda in that universe even have powers? Because she had actual kids. So
she uses them in the movie.
No, but that's after other Wanda has possessed them.
I think she already has them, and she just has control of them.
But we don't know that for sure.
I think they do. I think they say something in the movie like she retired and something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. It's very confusing.
So once Logan hears that time travel is possible, he hijacks Paradox's time travel device.
And they Days of Future Past
and they
themselves.
run around history into various Fox X-Men universes, which would have cameos by Channing Tatum as Gambit. because he was supposed to play Gambit in a solo Gambit film that got canceled.
See, they're doing the Flash. They're like, oh, remember when this actor was supposed to play this character in this movie that never got made?
And then they would meet up in the third act of X-Men: The Last Stand.
Why that one? That's like the worst one.
And they would have to put together a team to fight Magneto's forces, which would be 90s cartoon Logan from the movie Logan, where he's old.
Who's dead, by the way.
Get him before he dies. There's time travel.
He's poisoned and going to die.
Yeah, well, then he'll die sooner. And then different versions of X-23, so presumably he's going to have that big...
She's not on the cast list though. People were asking for her to be in the movie, and she's not on the cast list.
None of the other X-Men are on the cast list yet, but they're going to be in there. Several different Deadpools, including one who's just Ryan Reynolds in a Wrexham t-shirt, which that sounds like something they would do.
Yeah, I fully expect Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman to be in the movie. Like, just those as themselves at some point.
And then at the end of the movie would spiral out to being so out of control that the TVA banishes all of the people into the main MCU timeline, so they're someone else's problem.
That doesn't make any sense. The TVA still has authority over that universe.
And then at the end of the movie, Logan would set out to find the rest of the world's mutants, and Deadpool goes to his apartment and talks to Blind Al.
So Wolverine becomes Professor X?
So at the end of the movie, they would shoot all of the cartoon X-Men 90s versions into the main MCU. And presumably that's how they would make mutants be a thing in the main MCU continuity.
That's dumb.
Which they already are a little bit, because we know Miss Marvel's a mutant.
Yeah.
And I think they've confirmed a few other characters.
I don't think so. Who else have they? I can't think of anyone else that they've confirmed as a mutant.
I think it was like background characters that one of the directors was like retroactively like, oh, they're a mutant. But the main one we know is Miss Marvel.
She's the only one that is intended to be a mutant.
Which makes it weird if they need to like do some multiverse thing to put mutants in the main universe. That's kind of what I expected them to do. It'd be weird if they did that, and also Miss Marvel was already a mutant before.
Well, that's what they're doing.
It's weird. I'm saying that's weird.
So like they're showing up randomly. Like as far as as Earth 99999 is concerned, these guys just randomly show up one day, coincidentally around the same time. Random humans are popping up around the world who also have powers genetically similar to these random guys who just showed up.
No, I feel like it would be retroactive, where like the TVA puts them in that universe, and therefore they've always existed.
I don't think that's how it works.
I feel like that's what they would do.
That doesn't make it. What do you
I don't
mean?
feel like they would just dump them in that universe. I feel like when they put them there, they
like integrate them into their history.
So they've always been there.
That doesn't make any sense, because those characters would know that they got banished there.
They wiped their brains.
That's too much. That doesn't make any sense.
Except for, I guess, Deadpool and Logan would remember.
Because they would have to. So again, that doesn't really make any sense.
I just read that one thing off Reddit. It's probably wrong. I do believe some of that is true, though, because I've heard other people say that
aspects of
Channing Tatum is in this. The Bryan Singer X-Men cast is in this. We now know Elektra's in this. So I feel like that's all true. And I can definitely believe the Ryan Reynolds shows up wearing a Wrexham shirt thing, because he would sell his soccer team on using the movie.
Yeah.
So like that all tracks. And we know that Wolverine's wearing the comic book suit. So I feel like they're all going to be wearing the comic book suits.
Yeah, I think they're all going to be wearing the comic. I think the main problems I have with that version is one, the Wanda thing. That doesn't make any sense. That's too confusing.
Yeah,
banishing them to the 1999 universe. Also,
Sam, you mean the 616 universe?
Not. It just isn't. Kevin Feige can.
Thank
cry
God,
about it.
Spider-Verse confirmed it isn't.
Yeah,
well, I feel weird being on the side of Sony, but I like.
Hey, sometimes once in a blue moon, Sony gets it right.
Right. Phil Lord and Chris Miller got it right.
They did mess up their own universe, because they said that Miles' universe is like 60, whatever they gave him.
They said it was 616.
No, not 616. Miles' universe is like 1610 or something like that. But that's his universe in the comics. So they did the exact same thing that the MCU did, where they co-opted their source materials timeline.
Miles Morales is in the 616 universe right now.
He is now, but he wasn't before. He used to be from 1610.
What was that, the Ultimate Universe?
Yeah. 1610 was the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, 1610.
And then they
But also that universe was erased. So maybe when it was erased,
it was replaced with
it
this
was replaced with this one.
That's very confusing.
But also that universe was coming back. So
yeah, like I said, so they did the exact same thing that the MCU did.
at least no, I feel like that was just because like they were like, what did we name the universe? I don't know. Miles Morales was originally from 1610. Put 1610. Kevin Feige saying it's 616 was because he wants the movies.
Yeah, to be the main content.
That's where all of the original versions of the characters are.
That makes no sense.
Not from the comics, from the movies. It's just because he wants to be more important.
Yeah, okay, Kevin. Anyway,
but I do. So the rumor is that like it's Fox X-Men come in, right? We do Deadpool 3, Secret Wars, and Kang Dynasty, all with those X-Men. We phase them out, bring in the new young, hip, cool X-Men after Secret Wars.
See, okay, that's another reason I don't believe the ending of this thing. Because I know if Disney wanted to just use the same characters to make more X-Men movies, they would have done it by now. I think they want to have their own cast, but
I think they do too. I just don't think
they're
they want to
smart
do it
enough
yet.
to know that they need Hugh Jackman. I think they're smart enough to know that's the face of the X-Men and they need him there. So I believe Deadpool and Wolverine will end up in the 616 universe. However, the movie ends. I don't think that the rest of the X-Men will. I think that doesn't make any sense.
I believe that they will for now.
Yeah.
And then be erased and replaced.
I see that's too again, you're doing too much.
Because Hugh Jackman is not going to stick around and play Wolverine in the new
That will
X-Men
only
universe.
be
He's
true.
not going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Because he'd be 60.
Well, they would just retire. That character would be
No.
That character would be
They
replaced.
wouldn't do X-Men without having Wolverine on the team.
No, I'm saying he would be replaced by a different Wolverine, but like the rest of the team would be just the new cast Disney picks. But what if they do that? That means Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty, whichever one's the second one, I don't remember.
Secret Wars is the second one.
But that will reset all the stuff, not just...
I think it will.
Yeah. It would have to if that's what they're doing.
You know why? Because everyone in the MCU roster is getting up there in age.
Yeah, except for the Young Avengers.
Which apparently they're going to tease in the Marvels or something.
Which kind of pokes a big hole in this whole
But,
theory
you know,
here.
Benedict Cumberbatch is getting up there.
Okay, but Doctor Strange can be old.
Like, Hugh Jackman's in his 50s. Ryan Reynolds is in his 50s, I believe. Also.
Ryan Reynolds
like
will
40s.
keep doing this forever because he loves it. Hugh Jackman will not be Wolverine.
Like, everyone in the cast is getting up there in age, or at least the characters people care about, right? They're not going to be, you know, in prime, getting abs and putting on spandex forever. And by the time Secret Wars comes out, the MCU will have been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, they're going to have to do some sort of reset because otherwise it's completely inaccessible.
They've got to Flashpoint themselves.
They have to Flashpoint. They have to New 52 themselves.
They have to Secret Wars.
That was
the Marvel's version.
So
of
I
that.
feel like that is what Secret Wars is going to be. And Kevin Feige, his first job in Hollywood, or at least his first producing job, was working on the original Fox X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman and James Martin, that whole
all those
cast.
guys.
And I feel like he does have affection for that version of the X-Men because that's the one he worked on.
That's different than the version that it says they're going to put in the movies.
But because Deadpool 2, right, it's going to carry over into this one. It has to, because we haven't reset that universe yet. I do feel like he's going to bring in the original X-Men cast before he resets it. And I feel like he is going to reset it because these people aren't going to play these roles for 10 more years. So I feel like...
So you think they're going to bring in all the X-Men to 1999-99? That'll get rewritten at the end of Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And everyone will get recast.
Not every single person, but like a lot of them.
Which ones do you think won't get recast?
Like of the X-Men?
Of everyone.
Anyone who's like younger than 35.
So just Kamala Khan.
So like your Yelena Belova's, your...
How old is she?
Like 30 something. I don't like.
How
32?
old will she be when Secret Wars comes out?
I don't know, Sam. I don't know that off the top of my head.
She will be older than 35, I assume.
Then maybe she'll go. I'm saying like
other than
anyone who is too old to be doing that in 2028 when this movie will probably come out, right? Anyone who can't be doing this for like at least 6 to 7 more years they're gone.
So it'll be Kamala and Spider-Man and Kate Bishop, and that'll be the only remaining characters from the
Well,
old
I
MCU.
can't. The MCU has too many characters. I can't name.
Oh,
them
and
all.
Hulk's son.
Hulk's son. He'll stick
Who
around.
is a character everyone forgot, but I remember.
She-Hulk, I think.
She won't be ever mentioned again.
You think no?
I think they won't touch that. I think
100% they're gonna touch that.
she'll obviously come back in Secret Wars, but I'm saying like after that,
She's gonna be in
they
the
won't
next
mention her in
Avengers movie.
anything else.
She's gonna be on the Avengers team. You know that.
No, she won't.
100% she is.
100% she won't.
I would bet money she's gonna be on the.
She will show up in Secret Wars the same way everyone showed up in Infinity War, but that will be it. That will be the extent of her role in the universe. Because Disney knows that everyone hates her.
That's
The
not
same
true.
reason they terminated all their Eternals projects. Literally that.
They're gonna come back for it too.
They will be in Secret Wars, and that's it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they will show up that time, and they will never be mentioned at any other point in time before or after that.
No, they made too much of an investment in She-Hulk to just have it be like.
They made a
one-off thing.
way bigger investment in the Eternals.
That's true.
They're willing to just kill stuff off.
They are now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We know that now because of Eternals, that they're willing to just axe whole
I mean, I
legs.
don't know what they're gonna do with Eternals because I feel like they want to do more stuff with Eternals.
They wanted to. I don't know if they will choose to continue with that.
I have a feeling
choice.
like they cast Harry Styles as an Eternal, and they can't not use Harry Styles for something.
I mean, maybe. I mean, he might show up in something, but his quest is entirely unrelated to the.
What if they put
Eternals.
him on the next Guardians team?
He could totally be. They should
I
have done
could see
that. Why
that.
didn't they do that?
No, I feel like they wouldn't because there's already Adam Warlock on that team.
So why didn't he?
They have similar powers.
Okay, but neither of them just change his powers.
Whose?
Harry Styles. What are his powers right now?
They do the
he
same.
can teleport.
They
maybe.
fly around and punch things hard. That's what they always.
Okay, you can have two guys who fly and punch.
No,
Then the
They
Eternal.
didn't put him on the new Guardians team because James Gunn decided who was on that team, and
He said no. But okay,
no. He said, "I'm going to
it
put
would've
the
been funny,
characters
though.
that have already been established in these movies on the next team," and I'll just be like, "Look, everybody, it's Harry Styles."
Like the 6-year-old child was not established.
She's in the movie. But
She's
no,
in
yeah,
the
she's
movie for
introduced-
5 seconds, and she has one line in the
that's
entire
one of
movie, and it's only in the post.
No, I feel like
she has the
Okay.
same amount of dialogue in the entire MCU as Harry Styles does.
one, James Gunn did not watch the movie Eternals.
That's true, but I feel like
Two,
Disney-
he has no idea who that character is, and three, he would not put him on the
Okay.
team in the movie.
But Disney could go, hey, James, there's a space guy. He needs to be in the post-credit scene. Here's what he does. He just needs to be there.
Oh, I feel like-
that's it.
That team we saw in the end of the movie was his team,
His dream team.
and if they show up again, the Guardians doing something else, they'll have just added other members that the Marvel executives have
executives
decided
have
are
added.
on the team. Like, I can't see them making another Guardians thing with Kraglin on the team. Because I can tell you now, they don't care about Kraglin.
No, but he is like a well-known character now. Like he's a popular. Like he wasn't at all a character even remotely in the first one. He didn't even have a name, I don't think. But he's definitely like an established member of the team now. Like they
But
can't.
they
just
would be
get
like,
rid of him.
the computer says we're not bringing that character back. We need to bring in a character with 63% audience recognition. So they would add Harry Styles.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they could do that.
Nobody saw the movie Eternals.
We did.
We did. I laughed in the theater as it was
We
happening.
laughed a lot.
Remember at
when
the end when he
Icarus
flies
kills
into
himself?
the sun?
That was funny.
What a good movie.
Remember when he does a what's that movie? All-Star Superman, but except for this is way dumber.
Remember when their plan was that the Earth was a big egg?
Uh-huh.
You think any Marvel project is ever going to mention that again? That the Earth is a big egg?
They did in Miss Marvel already.
They do?
Yeah, it's on the news.
Oh, the head
They're like
poking out of the
giant
water?
head in hand.
No, do you
discovered
think
in
they're
the
ever
sea.
going to like actually mention it by name, like address the fact that the Earth is a big egg and there's a dead Eternal, a dead Celestial just sitting inside of it?
I would say yes if Tony Stark was still alive, but he's
true.
not. And he would have been the one to be like, so you're telling me the Earth was a big egg?
Yeah.
But
Who's going to be our quippy character now? Who's
I think-
going to do all the quips?
I think every character has become the quippy
Yeah, we'll do
character.
two. Everyone does. There's too many quips.
It should just be Spider-Man.
It should
It
just
should have been Spider-Man. He should have been the quippy one, and everyone should just.
I don't know. This version of Spider-Man is too like
He's sad.
saccharine. Yeah,
He's not quippy.
he's like
Spider-Man's
he's really
not quippy
emotional.
enough. Spider-Man's not quippy enough, and everyone else
He
is too
does
quippy.
quips in the first two.
Because
He does less in the third one because his like
his life is
everyone's
falling apart.
dying and everything's exploding. But like he does quips sometimes. But that version of
He
the
didn't re-
character does a lot more.
He's
crying.
much more serious than most other versions of
Well,
Spider-Man, I think.
he's more serious, but Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is like
Okay, he's not
barely ever quips and just cries and like every other scene.
but that's like depressed Spider-Man.
And
That's
Andrew
like
Garfield
way too
Spider-Man
much.
is angsty and just like
I'm too
doesn't
cool,
wanna be
I'm
there.
Too cool for
Yeah.
Spider-Man quips.
Anyway, we should probably move on to the next thing.
Let's
Oh, I just
want
wanted to say, this Marvel movie mildly interests me, which is more than I can say about literally every other thing they're making.
every time I've gotten hyped for a Marvel movie in like the last 5 years, it's been the lamest one.
I'm not hyped. I'm interested.
But that's how it was with Doctor Strange and Thor.
I like the X-Men.
I was like excited for Doctor Strange, and then that movie sucked. And I was excited for Thor, and that movie sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Deadpool movies. Deadpool 1 and 2 are both good. I'm not clamoring for another one. But again, Hugh Jackman's good. He's wearing the yellow suit. That's all you really need to get me on board is
Put him in the
wearing a bright
yellow
yellow
suit.
outfit.
Put him in the Curious George costume.
But 5 credited screenwriters that always screams a good thing.
You know what? If they ever make a new Curious George live action movie, I think Ryan Reynolds would be a great man in the yellow suit.
Okay, Sam.
All right, I'm gonna
Write
pause
that
'cause I
one
have to go to
down.
the bathroom. All right, Tucker, tell us about Superman Legacy.
Yeah, we're done with Deadpool. Let's move on to some Superman Legacy. So,
Speaking of James Gunn, we
talked-
ended like with James Gunn.
Yeah,
and we're
now we're moving on.
transitioning into more James Gunn.
So we talked last week about how they cast Superman and Lois Lane. They've cast more roles, but it's not who you would think.
It's weird, random other characters.
Yeah, so they cast Isabella Merced to play Hawkgirl. They didn't say which version of Hawkgirl. They just said Hawkgirl.
What do you mean, which version? There's
Well,
only
because
one
there's
version.
been there's been 4 different
Well,
people. to
there's
be
a bunch
Hawkgirl.
of but they're all the same person.
No, there's multiple different versions of Hawkgirl.
Yeah, but aren't they all reincarnations of the same
that's
person?
one version of Hawkgirl, and then there's another one that's like
this
an
is
alien.
getting ridiculous. Yeah, the alien one is the one that reincarnates.
Which one's which?
They're the same.
Maybe they are.
I'm telling you.
I don't know anything.
They're
about
both aliens.
You could be
Hawkman
right.
and
You
Hawkgirl
could
are
be right.
aliens, but they got
Remember
stuck
when
on.
Hawkman was in Black Adam?
Remember when Hawkman was in Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes. It's
then
weird because
wasn't? Remember when he was a Nazi?
I know, but I saw Hawkgirl, and I was like, "Oh, we've never done any of the Hawk people in live action before." And then I went,
wait, no, we've done that a
"Oh
lot
wait, hold up,
actually.
we've done them 3 times."
It's just they've all been so unmemorable that I forgot already.
I'm pretty sure they did one of them in Smallville, and then they did them in the CW, and then they did Hawkman in Black Adam.
But he was like Tony Stark for some reason.
Yeah, who knows?
Actually, he was more like Batman.
Nathan Fillion is going to play Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
I saw that. I actually love that.
That I love.
I think that's perfect casting.
Eddie Gathegi is going to play Mr. Terrific. Again,
Okay.
another CW person.
That's
Not the
a-
actor,
yeah,
but the
that's
character.
great. Yeah, Mr. Terrific.
And
Yeah.
Anthony Kerrigan's going to play Metamorpho.
the Batman villain?
No, he's a hero.
I thought he was a villain.
You're thinking of someone else.
Well, in the Beware the Bat show, he was a villain.
He might have been a villain before, but
Remember,
he's
he got
mostly a
locked
hero.
in the gas chamber, and then he turned into a bunch of different elements, and he could
Wasn't that
morph and stuff.
Clayface?
No, he was like Clayface, but okay. You know, Kevin 11 from Ben 10.
Yeah, I know what
You know
you're
that
talking-
season
I know
where
who
he-
Metamorpho is.
Yeah, he looked like that, but like big.
Sure. So seeing this lineup, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho.
Sounds like to me like a
So,
Justice Society.
The rumor was that the Authority was going to be in this, and they were going to be the group of superheroes that's running around before Superman gets there. I think it's going to be the Justice Society,
I
because
think
that's what this sounds more
Even
like.
if they call themselves the Authority, this
no.
team is like very clearly
No,
like,
the Authority
not
is going to
that.
be a different team when they do that. Because
Yeah,
they're
this
supposed to
is-
get a solo movie. This is not the
This
Authority.
is just Justice Society.
This is the Justice Society. Because Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific have all been in the Justice Society. I don't think Metamorpho
and
ever has.
Hawkman in the Black
In
Adam.
the Black Adam movie. They might not call them the Justice Society, but that's what it is.
Someone at some point will definitely go, "What are you guys? Some kind of Justice
Yeah.
Society?"
I do like these for the Isabella Merced, Hawk Girl. She's really short. I don't know how that's gonna be, but like,
Well, she flies, so
she
it doesn't
flies.
really
She can
matter.
just be in there. Nathan Fillion, as you said, Guy Gardner. Love that.
That's so
Perfect.
good.
He
I love
voiced Hal Jordan in a bunch of animated DC
Did
stuff.
he voice him in the show?
I don't think he did in Green Lantern the animated series, but he definitely did in a bunch of the animated.
Is Green Lantern
DC
the animated
movie, like,
series? Is
home
that in the
movies.
same universe as Batman and Superman the animated series?
No, it's in the same universe as Young Justice.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Although it's in the like a 3D version of the Bruce Timm style, but it's definitely in the Young Justice universe.
Well, okay. Are the Justice League Unlimited? Is that the same version of the Justice League that's in Young Justice?
No,
They don't got the Watchtower or any of that.
well they do, but it's different universe. They both have the Watchtower.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird. It's hard. No one can.
When did they decide unilaterally that the Justice League is actually based in space and not in the Hall of Justice like they were for like?
Well,
80
no,
years?
they started. The Watchtower started in Justice League International, the comic,
And then it just became the Justice League.
because once they were international, they were
Yeah, they were in
They were
space.
in space, and then I think they brought that over after that run had ended. They just brought the Watchtower over, League stuff, because I believe it was the 70s and 80s, the Justice League book kind of like fizzled out. It wasn't selling super well, so DC didn't let them use any of like the bigger DC characters. So they did Justice League International, which was like your Blue Beetles, your Booster Golds, your Mr. Terrifics, like the lesser known
The
guys.
weird guys
became
no
the
one
main
cares
Justice
about.
League, and that became Justice League International, and that's when they started at the Watchtower.
Okay,
and Batman was on that team because
something-
they put Batman and stuff when they needed to sell.
Something I was like thinking about. Marvel has like all of their characters are big.
now.
Yeah. DC has like 5 big characters, and everyone else nobody knows anything about.
I think that's a little. That's kind of true.
Like if I walk up to the average person,
Yeah.
and I went, "Tell me about," let me think of like a medium. Like, tell me about Hawkeye.
Yep.
They could tell me a lot about Hawkeye.
They would tell you that he's a guy with a bow and arrow,
But they could be like,
and then
oh,
he's
he was
on
like
the Avengers.
They could be like, oh, he was a spy and then he became an Avenger. Like they would know baseline
Are
information.
you talking like casual fan or stranger?
Like person who's seen all the Avengers movies. at
oh, they
least.
would definitely know some stuff.
They would know who Hawkeye is. If I went to someone who like casually watched most of the DC movies, and I said, "Who's Martian Manhunter?" Now, Martian Manhunter's a big character in the comics. He's on the Justice League. He has a lot of his own stuff. If I said, "Who's Martian Manhunter?" they would go, "I don't know. Who is Martian Manhunter?"
Yeah, because he wasn't in any of those movies.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. DC keeps only focusing on like
people
these
are more
5
aware
dudes.
of Marvel characters now because they did 30-something movies.
But DC could have done that, and they just
They
like,
could, but they
didn't.
haven't. So you can't really blame them for the fact that no one knows
But, like,
who
it's the
Black
same with, like-
Canary is.
It's the same with like Blue Beetle, yeah, Black Canary, Red Tornado, like all these characters that are like
All of the colors. Anyone who's got a color
all these
in their
characters
name.
are like popular characters, like to the fans.
Yes.
But they just have like absolutely no
Well, but
public
that was
like
the
wherewithal
case
at
with a
all.
bunch of the Marvel characters before they got movies, like Doctor Strange, Black Panther.
But it seems
They
like
weren't popular until they got their movies, and then
It
they
seems like
exploded. Like the
even-
fans loved them, but the general public didn't know who they were.
very minor characters from Marvel Comics are now, I would say, equally as popular as what should
No.
be like mid-tier popular characters in DC.
I saw someone I saw on Twitter the other day, people were debating like who would be on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes, and the general consensus was it was Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and then Wonder Woman. And I was like, 3 of those are DC characters, and yet this franchise has been run so poorly that like all 3 of them combined can't total like the monetary value of Iron Man 3.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
I was like, how do you fib
like
this bad?
DC has way bigger gaps in terms of popularity with their characters. Like,
Right now,
Wonder
yes.
Woman, Superman, Batman. Every human being on Earth knows those 3
Mm-hmm.
names. Nobody knows Red Tornado. Nobody. Nobody
but
knows
there's,
who
like,
that is.
With both, like it's the same DC and Marvel where there's like levels to like popularity.
But,
Where
okay,
there's
if-
the A tier, right? Like
If DC is like, let's say the bell curve looks like this, right, where it's like no one knows this guy, no one knows. Okay, everyone knows these. Okay, no
Yeah.
one knows the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
Where I would argue Marvel is like more like this. It goes like there's a more gradual curve in terms of public knowledge.
well, okay, so Marvel say, okay, going back to before the Marvel movies, and let's pretend this is 2005, okay? No MCU, no DCEU, right?
Yeah.
The number one DC character, everybody can probably name 3 DC characters: Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman.
Yeah, everyone knows those guys.
Marvel characters, people can probably name 3 of those: Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They could probably name those 3. Marvel was able to expand that and bring like the D-level characters: Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, kinda. He was probably a little bit higher up, probably a B-level character.
Yeah.
Bring them up to A and S tier. DC essentially just did only Superman and Batman for 30 years. Finally did a Wonder Woman movie, did really well. Tried to bring some of the lesser-known characters up and failed miserably. So the more popular DC characters are still popular, but like the lesser ones never got brought up the same way that the Marvel characters.
But it's not even the lesser ones. It's like the mid-tier ones never got brought up. It's like only Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I guess Harley Quinn randomly joined.
Harley Quinn is up.
She
there.
randomly became. I would argue she's like the 4th, maybe the 5th, because the Joker. But she's like probably the 5th most popular.
Remember
DC
when they
character.
did the DC ice creams a few years ago?
And honestly,
she was one of the 5 that got one.
The only reason why the Joker,
but Joker
is that
definitely
high,
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, is one, he's like super popular, but Harley Quinn's popularity, I would argue at this point, boosted the Joker's popularity.
Yeah, I think kind of. But Joker's always been insanely popular.
Yeah, I think out of all the comic book villains in the
by
world,
far, like
I think
by
he's the most
100
popular.
million. I think Thanos
Thanos
gave him a little run
close.
for his money there, and then the Joker movie came out and did $1 billion, and then I think it was
nowadays Thanos is probably the most popular one.
No,
I would argue he is.
He's not.
I think he had a bigger mark on like culture as a whole than the Joker did.
There were more
in the last few
memes
years.
about Thanos, but like as a character, Joker is still way more prevalent than anyone else. There's a reason every popular media franchise at some point just tries to rip off the Joker as a villain.
But that's because you can't knock. Like Thanos would take forever to knock off. Like the Joker's so easy to knock off.
No, but Thanos,
he's a random murder
Thanos
clown.
was big when we were doing Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
and then like it spiked and then it went down. Joker is just as popular as Joker's ever been. Like Joker was popular when Suicide Squad came out. He was popular when The Dark Knight came out. He was popular when Joker 2019
I would
came
argue
out.
the Joker's movies and stuff didn't increase his popularity at all. It just kept him at the same level.
I think the
Joker's
Dark Knight definitely
The Dark Knight did a little bit. But I think since The Dark Knight, I don't think anything has increased the Joker's popularity.
The Joker movie made $1 billion. It's the highest grossing R-rated movie.
Yes, but that's because he was already popular. The Joker movie didn't make the Joker more popular.
Probably not. But again, that movie was a testament to how popular that character is.
Thanos was made popular by the movies.
Yes.
No one knew who he was.
Which is why I think you can't
recently
say he's a more popular character than the Joker.
But I think now, like this year, I would say they're on equal like public awareness.
I couldn't say that. I don't think you can.
I think if I
think
asked
you
a
could
classroom
say that
of children,
I think you could
raise
say
your
that,
hand if you know who Thanos is, they would all raise their hands. And if I said raise your hand if you know who the Joker is, they would all raise their hands.
You could definitely say that in 2018 or 2019. But again, I feel like after that whole Thanos arc was done in the movies, he went kind of back to where he was before, and I think Joker just never went down. I think Joker's always been super high.
Joker has a more consistent
by far. And the Joker is iconic. Like everything about that character is iconic. I mean, Thanos.
He has an image. Thanos doesn't really have that.
Thanos is just the purple man.
He's a purple guy with magic rocks.
Yeah. The Joker is the Joker. He's like the comic book.
Because anytime you see a clown, you go, "Oh, the Joker looks like that."
Yeah, I mean,
every time you see Grimace at McDonald's, you don't go, "Oh yeah, Thanos."
James Bond, Mission Impossible, like all those franchises did their own version of the Joker because he was so big after The Dark Knight. Like, I feel like Thanos as a character, like, no, you can't rip off big purple alien who wants rocks.
It's very difficult to knock off that kind of villain.
But that villain who like wants to save the world by killing half of it, like that you definitely could rip off, and no one's done that yet. And maybe they will. But like Joker, people are always trying to emulate.
Thanos is only as popular as he was because of the build-up.
Yeah.
So unless you have a build-up like that, you can't really knock off Thanos. The Joker doesn't need any build-up.
No,
you go, he's a random crazy guy.
You see a clown and you know who that is.
He's a clown who murders people. That's the easiest thing to do.
Just to steer back to Superman Legacy real quick, I love all of these castings, especially Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho. He was on Barry, and he's in Bill and Ted 3. He's great in both of those. He's especially good in Barry. He was literally just nominated for an Emmy today, by the way, and he was announced as this. So
Yeah, I don't know
good
nothing
day for
about
Anthony
that guy.
Carrigan. But I think he's great. That's a great casting for Metamorpho. Apparently, Nathan Fillion will have the bowl cut as Guy Gardner, and I can't wait to see that.
He freaking better have the bowl cut.
I saw the Snyder devotees, the cult, be like, how I thought these were all supposed to be young versions of the characters. Why is Guy Gardner 50?
Says
and I'm like,
who?
Okay, hold up.
Says who? You? You guy who's made up things in your brain?
He said,
shut up.
Superman is younger, and he is. 2, Hawkgirl is played by a young actor. Anthony Carrigan and Eddie Gathegi are younger. They're not young, but like
They'll be around
in their
for a minute.
40s. Like Nathan Fillion, yeah, he's 50, but he's also not the main Green Lantern. He's playing Guy Gardner.
It doesn't
who's
matter.
The third tier Green Lantern.
It doesn't matter if the Justice Society characters are old, because 1, they're supposed to be old. 2, they're not the ones who are going to sell tickets to movies.
No.
You know who
Batman,
is,
Wonder Woman,
is
Superman.
going to sell
They are the young
tickets
ones.
to movies for the next 20 plus years? Superman.
Yeah.
Superman needs to be a younger guy. Guy Gardner can be a homeless guy you found on the street. It doesn't matter.
No,
he's not the one selling
yeah.
tickets. Now, I'm not saying that I think, this character's so dumb a homeless guy could play. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this character is not the draw. No. It doesn't really matter if they're older, because they're not the ones who are going to be bringing people in, like Superman will.
I feel like he's going to be more of a bit character. I feel like
he's going to be a goof. That's what he always
Hawkgirl,
is.
I think it's very intentional that she's played by someone as young as she is. I think when they end up doing the Justice League in this universe, I think it's going to be the lineup from the Justice League animated series from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because we know they're doing the Lantern show, which will have... Is
that ever going to exist?
Well, the Green Lantern show they were doing before is gone. It's a new Green Lantern show that's like a completely different thing than what they were
Is it
developing.
live action?
Yes.
So it's the same show.
So the Green Lantern show they were gonna do before Gunn and Safran took over was like an anthology series with like the lesser known Green Lanterns. It was gonna be like Alan Scott, Guy Gardner was gonna be on that.
It was gonna be dumb.
Yeah. This new one is just like an 8-episode like linear series.
It's gonna be normal.
That one's gonna be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. So we're gonna get all three in very at the start of the DC, which I think is kind of interesting. But because they're doing Jon Stewart in that, Hawkgirl's in this, I feel like the lineup from that original animated series, which is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Wally West, The Flash. I feel
Wally
like
West
that's
Flash?
gonna do their on the animated series from the 2000s. That's the version of the Flash on that team. I feel like that's the version they're gonna do, and because if you think about it, they recast Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, right? Hawkgirl, new character. Jon Stewart, new character. If it's Wally West, the Flash,
you can just
then they
say
don't have
bye-bye.
to do Ezra Miller. Aquaman is also not on that team, and then they don't have to deal with Jason Momoa.
Aquaman joins the team though.
In Unlimited, but like in that original roster from the original Justice League series, like Aquaman and Barry Allen Flash are not on it. So if they do that,
but James Gunn's gonna want Jason Momoa.
but if they do that team, then they don't have to have any of the original DCU cast.
That's
on
true,
it,
but
which is why I think that's what they're gonna do.
But James Gunn likes Jason Momoa though.
But he doesn't have to be playing Aquaman.
But
Could be playing
he's
Lobo.
gonna play Aquaman.
I feel like
he
he's gonna
said
end up
that
playing
he
Lobo.
said Suicide Squad is canon, so he's gonna be Aquaman.
It's kind of canon. I mean, Nathan Fillion plays
Regardless-
a character in the Suicide Squad who's not Guy Gardner.
What's the
Which I saw other people complaining
Peacemaker
about.
is also canon.
Yep.
And Aquaman fully shows up in that.
Mm-hmm. But
Now you can kill Barry Allen Flash.
Aquaman can still exist in that universe. He just wouldn't be on the
He'll
Justice
just
League.
be
anymore.
like a drunk hobo somewhere.
He'll just not be on the Justice League.
Then why?
Not everyone has to be on the Justice League. I can tell
Then
you right
why
now,
even
Mr.
have
Terrific and
Aquaman?
Metamorpho are not going to be on the Justice League.
Yeah, I fully expect none of these characters except Superman.
I think
to be on the Justice
Hawkgirl
League.
is going to be on the Justice League.
Maybe Hawkgirl.
Because then they can have more than one
Only
woman on the
Hawkgirl
team.
if everyone else on her team.
Oh, Martian
dies.
Manhunter is also on that in the animated series team.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be on it.
He's
too.
cool. Why haven't anyone done a cool
you have
one
to,
of him
you
yet?
Because you have to think about it two ways. One, like actual comic book like story that this is based on, and two, like having to diversify the lineups so to fit like demographics.
I want Martian Manhunter.
Like
He was like
Like,
my
if-
favorite guy, and
if
he
you do-
still has never been in anything.
He was in Zack Snyder's Justice League for like 3 seconds.
He wasn't.
He was in it for 3
That
seconds.
does not count.
It was cool to see him though.
Yeah, but he didn't even
He
float
didn't
through
do
a
anything.
wall.
Why didn't he help?
Why didn't he just float through the wall?
Why did he not help?
That also.
I like how they had it be a character who's in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman also, who just sitting around, just wasn't helping.
They could have made it so Darkseid was looking for whatever the MacGuffin
And he was
is.
like helping to hide
No,
it.
and he's the reason why Mars got destroyed. Because he was looking for it like all over the solar
Maybe that
system,
was
and he
in
destroyed
Zack Snyder's
Mars.
plans. Maybe he was in there. Actually, Martian Manhunter wasn't in his plans.
Yeah, he randomly picked him, which is why it doesn't count.
No, it was supposed to be Green Lantern,
Lantern.
and the studio told him no, and so he put Martian Manhunter instead. But that's not important. But I was just like, if you do that animated series lineup, and you got the main people who have to be on it. You have 2 women on the team. You have 2 black characters on the team.
I have no faith in DC.
Full lineup. Full
DC
demographic lineup.
is I have no faith at all. Zero faith.
Just 0.
After
what point did-
after the
What do they have to do to prove themselves to you for you to have any faith in them?
delete the Flash.
Forever.
Delete it.
It's coming
Get
to
a-
digital
Nope.
next week.
Get a Infinity Gauntlet gone. No Flash. The movie never made. Never existed.
So they have to invent time travel and erase that movie from ever being made.
Or they need to release a public statement saying,
Apologize.
not apologizing, but just saying like, what's going on? What is your plan?
They did that.
No, they didn't. They were like, hey, look, it's it's George Clooney. That's what they said. They said, look, George Clooney. They didn't give us any like.
Well, we know what stuff they're making. But
We know what stuff they're making.
You want them to come out and tell you in continuity what is happening.
Yes. What on earth is canon right now? How am I supposed to know as a fan what to care about?
Okay.
If I don't know what is even
I
canon.
can't tell you what's canon. So,
Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. That's all we know. That's
as
safe
of
right
the end
now.
of The Flash is stuck in a universe where Aquaman is canon and Batman and Robin is canon. And that's it.
But Batman and Robin is not even canon because it's not even Michael Keaton. It's some
No,
other
no,
guy.
no, it's George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Batman and Robin.
Oh, I forgot he was Batman.
Yeah. That's what's canon in that universe. And then in the new universe, it's a version of the Suicide Squad and a version of Peacemaker.
See how that's not okay? See how I don't know what's going on right now? And then we have the other Batman.
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, what's going on
He's
with
in
that?
his own universe.
Why?
He's in his own space.
Why?
Because they did that
Dumb.
movie before James Gunn
Dumb.
got there, and he can't stop them.
Dumb. They need to
Should've just
scrap
made that the
all of
main
it.
Bat- No, they should have just made him the main Batman.
Yes, they should have. They should have made him the main Batman. They should have never made the Flash. James Gunn should not have thrown random characters from the Justice League into Peacemaker, which screws up any hope they have of a successful retcon.
To be fair, when he did that show, he was not planning on doing a retcon because he wasn't in charge at that point.
No, but
he
if-
was working within the universe that already existed, so like that's not really his
But
fault.
then he shouldn't be allowed to go,
Then-
this is canon.
No, yeah, then he shouldn't have not. He should not have
You
been
can-
allowed
yeah,
to
that's
bring
what
it
I'm
over.
saying. You can only
Yeah.
have it one way or the other. But they're trying to do both.
He's trying to do both.
And the whole reason why the DC universe has not worked for the last decade
Mm-hmm.
is because for the last decade, they've been trying to do both. They've been trying to retcon the stuff they don't like,
Yep.
but keep the aspects of it that they
On
do
a
like.
movie by movie basis.
On a not even a movie by movie basis, on a scene by scene basis in some cases.
of what's
what's
changing
canon
stuff in
and
the
what's
middle
not.
of production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they say, oh, only the Joss Whedon cut of the Justice League is canon. Oh, but we're going to mention a bunch of stuff that only happens in the Snyder cut. And so I guess those parts are canon, but the rest of the movie is the Joss Whedon cut. That's what's canon. Also, Batman and Robin is also canon now. Aquaman's drunk. The Flash's tooth is falling out. Also, Aquaman is in Peacemaker, but Peacemaker's maybe canon. Aliens took over the Earth for like 5 days. I don't know. Batman's doing his own thing in a totally separate universe. Stop. 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 Start over. Stop. And if you're going to start over, you need to actually start
Someone should ask James Gunn on Threads what's going on. If they're not even like what is canon, just if they're ever going to explain what is.
So when you ask me, what does DC have to do to restore my faith? You have to burn it all down and start over from square one.
Yeah.
And I'm worried because of what they're doing right now that they aren't going to do that. When they first
not going to do that.
When they first brought James Gunn on and they said that, I was like, thank God. This is what we've needed for years. And then James Gunn goes on Twitter and he goes, guess what? The stuff I like is still canon. And I go, huh? That makes no sense. What do you mean? That stuff is intrinsically related to the stuff that came before. So either you have dementia or you're not starting over from square one.
Well, it wasn't until the end of Peacemaker.
No, because the Suicide Squad still has characters from the other stuff. Heck, Black Adam had Henry Cavill in it.
Black Adam wasn't canon, but the Suicide Squad mentions like Superman and Batman, but it doesn't show who they are. So like, if he hadn't have put Ezra Miller Flash and Jason Momoa Aquaman in Peacemaker, you could have just said, oh, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker exist in this new universe, and because it didn't show who anyone was played by,
we still have Amanda Waller in like every single thing.
You could just be like, oh, in the new universe they're played by the same people. But like, other than that, because like Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad and, you know, Captain Boomerang and Harley Quinn all act completely different from the way they did in Suicide Squad 1.
Yeah.
So they were practically different versions of those characters anyway, and they don't mention any of the events of that movie.
No, they do.
They mention that Boomerang and Quinn and Harley Quinn have worked together before.
And no, when they're walking around in the jungle, they mention the mission that they went on before. Like they mention it by name.
Could have been a different mission.
They mention it by name.
I don't think
they're like, oh yeah,
that.
remember when that thing in New York happened? And they're like, yeah, and then they just keep walking.
I don't think that happened.
That happened.
When they're walking around in the jungle?
I don't remember if it's when they're walking around in the jungle or when they're getting on the helicopter, but I know at some point
in the helicopter,
they mention working together.
Captain Boomerang and Rick Flag and Harley Quinn mentioned working on a mission together before, but it doesn't have to be that mission. Could have been a different mission we saw.
But do you see how that is a ridiculous leap you have to make?
It's not a ridiculous leap.
No, because it is ridiculous, because they all have worked together on a mission publicly that everyone on Earth is already aware of. So by mentioning they worked together on a mission and have it not be the only mission that the public is aware that they've worked on, and when I say the public, I don't mean in universe. I mean the human beings alive on Earth who have seen the movies. Do you see how that is a ridiculous
I can see how it could be
thing?
confusing. Yeah, no, I feel like they just need to, like, at some point explain why everything changed. If they just make the next Superman movie and they don't explain what happened.
The Joker is also in his own universe, without Batman, who's also in his own universe. But not the Batman from The Flash, or the other Batman from The Flash, or the other Batman from The Flash. No, those are also all their own separate universes. This is dumb. This is stupid.
Always been stupid.
But the MCU is not nearly as stupid as that.
Yeah.
They were like, guys, we have one continuity, and we're going to make sure you know about it for 10 years before we even mention other universes existing.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you keep doing that, you can never have a definitive story ever.
Half of this is Gunn's fault and half of it isn't. Like, the Batman existing and them already being in development on a sequel before he got there, that's not his fault.
And, you know, I would have
because that movie made too much money for him to, like, shut that down.
And I would have been okay with that being on its own. If there's a Justice League, but this one, like, darker version of Batman is also being made, I think most people
could
differentiate that. But because they're doing so many different universes with so many different versions of characters, still, even now, after they've said they're going to retcon everything and then they just don't, that's incoherent. It's nonsense. Your universe is nonsense. Your universe is nonsense.
I mean, it is going to be one continuity going forward. But
is it, though?
What do you mean?
They said the Flash was going to be the big reset.
It's not.
Obviously,
that was a lie.
We know that now.
That was a lie.
But why wasn't it?
Because that movie had already been shot before he got there.
No, but they had like 3 different endings or whatever. They could have reshot the ending so it's the reset.
It should have been the reset, but I'm glad it isn't, because now it doesn't have to be Ezra Miller playing the Flash.
But they've already like committed to that like thing being somehow related to the next canon.
Not even really. Not in the movie, they don't.
Not in the movie, but in
So now they're
publicly
free
in
from it.
business they have.
But the public didn't watch it, so now it's fine.
Well, no, the public did watch it.
No,
They
it
just
didn't.
all collectively agreed that it was really dumb, and then they
Nobody
stopped
saw
watching
it. It did. It was probably the worst bomb in the history of Warner Brothers as a studio, and so now nobody watched it. So nobody's gonna be confused by it because nobody ended up
Good.
watching
It better never be brought up again.
We should watch it again.
Did any characters from James Gunn's fan fiction universe were any of them in Flash other than Ezra Miller?
Like from Suicide Squad or
From
Peacemaker?
yeah,
In Flash, no.
Harcourt shows up.
In Shazam.
No, in the Flash.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of Shazam. Yeah, Shazam. Another thing.
Again, that was
What's happening?
That was again.
What's happening?
Again, shot before he got there. You
Yeah,
can't
but they
blame
did the
him for that.
post-credit scene after he got
No,
there.
they didn't.
The one where his wife and
Yeah,
his
no,
wife's friend show
that
up
was
and go,
because-
"Hey, we're here.
No,
Welcome
that was
to the universe."
That was back when The Rock was practically in charge and stopped them from shooting the original version of that scene.
What was the original version?
The original
of that
version
scene?
of that scene, it was going to be Cyclone and Hawkman from the JSA and Black Adam show up. But
No.
Dwayne Johnson didn't let them use those characters, and so they were just like, well, who do we have here? They're shooting Peacemaker over there. Just grab those two. They work for the government.
But do you see how, to a normal person watching these movies, this doesn't make any sense?
You are right. The good news is that no normal person watched either of those films, so everything is fine.
Then there's Black Adam.
The Flash, nobody saw The Flash. Shazam, less people saw Shazam.
But do you see?
Nobody saw Black Adam. We're all good.
They keep releasing stuff saying this is canon, and then
Yeah.
no one sees it, and they go, "Never mind, it's not canon." How many times can they do that? I think they've already passed
They're
it.
gonna do it 2 more
I think
times.
they've already passed
They're gonna do it 2
We've gotten to the
more
point where
times.
I have no faith in them because every single movie they release, they say is canon, and then immediately afterwards they say is not.
Blue Beetle is in the new DC.
No, it's not.
It can be.
No, it isn't.
It can be.
It won't.
But it doesn't mean that Blue. No, okay. Here's so he's saying.
Here's the thing. They're saying it is like they do every time, and then
Calm
it will
down for
bomb
5
because it looks
seconds.
awful,
No.
and it won't be.
He's saying he's the first DCU character.
He said the Flash was his favorite superhero.
I believe
movie.
that. No, I believe that he is the first DCU character, right? That movie.
I don't.
That movie can be canon. It doesn't matter because him being in that universe does not mean he's ever going to show up again. So it's fine. It can be in that
No.
universe. It's not going to make any money.
Blue Beetle,
But that doesn't mean he's ever going to show up.
Blue
again.
Beetle
So it's fine.
being in that universe is not the issue. The issue is they started production on this movie like 4 years ago,
like 2, but okay.
before James Gunn was in charge,
Mm-hmm.
which means I can practically guarantee, not entirely, but I can almost guarantee that there will be Easter eggs and cameos and references to characters or characters
DCU.
in the
Correct.
will be in the Blue Beetle movie
Mm-hmm.
from the Fracture
I
verse.
am really hoping that Wonder Woman shows up in this
and
in
brings
Blue
him back
Beetle.
to life at the end.
No. It also doesn't say. I want for 4 movies in 1 year for
Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman
to
to
just
just walk
randomly
into a scene and they play the theme and then she leaves. I want it to happen 4 times in 1 year. That's what I want.
And
that's all I want out of Blue Beetle.
Also,
Aquaman,
Wonder
too.
Woman, 1984, also in its own secluded universe.
Kinda.
Everything is kinda in its own universe and kinda not. That's why I'm upset.
And now there's someone in charge.
How many kinda in a universe and
I'm gonna
kinda
ask,
not movies
I'm
can they
gonna
make?
ask James Gunn on Threads when we're done.
I'm gonna
Are they ever going to explain what's canon?
I'm
and
gonna
what
bust
isn't?
down his door and go, James, listen, bud, what's going on?
Just tell me. Email it to me. Just tell me right now.
Please tell me what's happening.
Anyway,
I'm
we
confused.
gotta
Everyone's
move on.
confused, James.
Like the cast. Speaking of Blue Beetle, there was a second trailer for that.
Should we watch it? Should we pull it
We
up?
already watched earlier, but we don't need to pull it up. It's an audio podcast.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be expected to play trailers for everybody.
Blue Beetle
Looks.
trailer looks
as
honestly, it
good
looks
as-
worse than it did before.
Nah, I think it looks the same.
I think the first trailer looked okay, and I think the new one looks actually kind of bad.
I think they look this.
I think it looks worse.
I think it's gonna be a kids film. I don't.
I'm okay with
I
it
have
being
zero
a kid's film.
expectations for it.
I think it looks really bad though.
I like the suit.
suit looks great. Everything else though looks
looks
bad.
generic, and it looks like a Nickelodeon original film.
It looks like a cutscene from the Spider-Man game.
Kinda.
The whole movie does though. That's not good.
I'm expecting nothing of it, and it's not gonna make any money, and it's not gonna matter. So
And it's not going to be canon because nothing is canon and everything is canon.
There was a trailer for Wonka, which also looks terrible. Timothée Chalamet looks so horribly miscast.
You know what I realized?
It's kind of astounding.
You know what I realized it feels like?
What?
Feels like a high school play. It feels like
Yeah,
Timothée Chalamet is in his senior year,
and he had to be the lead.
The teacher had to cast him as the lead, and he's awful at it. But everyone has to pretend he's good because it's his last year.
Good. Timothy. No, a movie nobody wants.
A movie no one will see.
Nobody asked for. Why is this greenlit?
This will bomb.
Why did they cast Timothée Chalamet as this
will
character
bomb,
that he's nothing
bomb
like?
spectacularly, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, Hugh Grant's playing an Oompa Loompa. That was creepy.
No, that's
the CGI
okay. Actually.
looks bad.
I'm okay with Hugh Grant Oompa Loompa. That's actually the only good part.
No for Wonka. Why?
Oh, you know what? Danny DeVito should have. And
That's
you don't even have to see.
offensive.
You don't even have to use CGI.
He said they did it in the original film.
That's true. What's worse?
Glad we could not employ all those people.
What's worse though? What's worse? Using CGI to turn someone
into
who is not a little person into a little person, or just painting a bunch of little people orange.
I don't know.
I would argue that the CGI is worse.
I would argue
because you should give them a chance to actually be in it.
then you're making a movie with people who are basically then you're making a movie that could have had a bunch of little people be employed and not
now
employed.
they're not. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They should not have done that.
I know the working conditions for them on the original Willy Wonka
were horrible.
Were horrible. I get that. But you can have it be better and still employ them.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a bunch of famous people and then use your
CGI
computer to
them,
make them short and orange.
It's like the opposite of what they did with Peter Dinklage in Infinity War, where they made him huge. Now they're turning.
No, he's gonna be really small.
It's so weird.
So
okay.
weird. And there was a Ahsoka trailer. There was another Ahsoka trailer. It's gonna come out August 20-something.
The Ahsoka
23rd,
trailer
I wanna
has me
say.
very confused.
I'm not. I get it.
No, I mean not confused, but there were some things that they did in the trailer, and I was like, huh?
August 23rd. I was correct. It's gonna have a 2-episode premiere. First two of 6 episodes.
And I'm not talking about the thing that you.
Oh, it's
think
gonna be 8 episodes.
I think the thing
So
you
they-
think I'm talking about is the Sabine thing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how they recreate the Darth Vader walking into the hallway scene with knockoff Darth Vader.
Huh?
You remember in
Rogue One?
I mean, in Rogue One and also in Episode 4. But you know when Darth Vader walks in the hallway in Episode 4, and he looks around, and the dudes are dead, and he also killed all those dudes 5 minutes before that, but in the 80s yet. Yeah, so there's a scene where the new bad guy in this movie, who is basically Darth Vader, but without the suit.
Skull.
Yeah,
He's a rogue Jedi.
walks into a hallway of a bunch of dudes wearing those exact uniforms, and then kills them in a ship that looks exactly like that ship.
Well, Sam,
Did
Star
they-
Wars is nothing if not extraordinarily repetitious.
Yeah, but I mean, is there a reason they're doing that? Is it he's like Darth Vader but different? Is that what they're going for?
Probably some space hard drive.
Or is it just on a ship made by the same company, and so those guys just happen to
it's
also
a
be there?
Republic ship, so probably looks the same as the other Republic ship.
But that wasn't a Republic ship. That was
The
a
hallway he
Imperial
walked in on
ship.
Episode 4?
That was an Imperial ship.
Ah.
This is a consular ship. We're carrying an ambassador. That was an Imperial ship.
The blockade
Now-
runner?
The Tantive 4, whatever it is.
Yeah, the blockade runner.
Yeah, that's an Imperial ship.
Well, the Imperial ships and the Republic ships look the same.
Yes, because they are the same government.
So okay, that's what I'm saying. Then I'm right. What are you arguing about?
The Republic is not...
They're using the same ships. They're made by the same people.
Yes, but why is it the same exact... Why are
Because-
they wearing the same suits? They never wear those suits at any other time except
You
that
mean
one
like the
time.
big dumb helmets and stuff?
Yeah, those.
Because nostalgia. Because Star Wars,
Do they
it's
still
a
wear
franchise
those?
that just does the same thing over and over and over and over again.
But why?
with same looking people.
My question is, where have those guys been? If they've
well,
been
they were
around,
they weren't like troopers. They were just like They were like a security team
yeah.
for Leia. So they're just probably just a security team for his
So
own
does
ship.
but,
Wasn't the in Mandalorian the first season when they robbed that like prison ship? One of the guys is dressed like that.
Yeah, there was
I think
one
that's
guy
just
there.
the what the people like the security people wear is that outfit.
Yes, maybe. It's just weird that I don't like.
Well,
We've
'cause-
only seen them those like 2 times.
Well, they wear that in Rogue One too. They're wearing
Yeah,
those
but
outfits.
Rogue One is the same guys as
Again-
Episode 4.
Well, yeah, because I think
I'm talking about that group of guys in Episode 4 and that one security guy in that one episode of Mando
Yeah.
are the only guys we've seen with those uniforms.
Well, it's because like the ground troops and the security officers, I'm guessing, were
like
different
even in
outfits.
Rogue One, like the ground troops didn't wear those helmets.
Yeah, well, they were like war guys, like they were like the people in Rogue One like fighting on Scarif were like actual soldiers. Like the guy on the ships were probably just
That's
like
the security guard.
security contractors.
That's
yeah.
the mall cop.
Yeah, they're mall cops. But
Yeah.
like it's a difference between
I don't know.
prison guard and a cop.
I just thought it was weird that they were doing like recreating that scene of him going through the hallway.
Yeah, they're
and
doing
it looks
that
the same. And they're
'cause
wearing the same
oh
thing.
my gosh, it looks like Episode 4, and I remember Episode 4 because I saw that movie.
When I was 7 years old,
Yep.
40 years ago.
But this trailer confirmed that Sabine is got force powers.
Sabine is a Jedi now.
She's got Jedi, and she cut her hair.
I'm upset.
I'm not. I don't
I
care.
wanted this to be revealed in the show. I think it's lame they revealed it in the show.
I can see why you'd be upset.
I'm
about
not upset
that.
about her being a Jedi. That's cool. I think Mandalorian Jedis are cool. We've only had one of those before.
Yeah,
it was like an
she's gonna-
ancestor of hers. That's
yeah.
cool. I like that. I don't like that they told me that in the trailer. I thought it would have been way cooler if I saw it
Yeah,
in the
it
show.
makes me think that that's like a super early on in the show reveal.
Also,
'Cause they put it
why
in the
didn't
trailer?
she ever have any Force stuff?
Well,
in,
she didn't know how to
Rebels?
use it. Well, she does wield the darksaber for a little bit,
Anyone can pick up the Darksaber and swing
but
it
she's
around.
actually like pretty good at using
Yeah,
it.
because she trains at it with
Yeah,
Kanan for
because
weeks.
You need training to be force powered.
But she wasn't up until now.
Because Dave Filoni decided that she's a Jedi.
Okay, but if Dave Filoni wanted her to be a Jedi, he would have like known for a while now that he wanted that to happen.
Well, Rebels ended in like 2016, so he could have decided
he had
6 years ago.
He had 4 seasons to give her Force
Well,
powers.
maybe he's gonna do it in season 5.
And the
he-
first 2 seasons are real
This is
boring.
basically
Having another
season-
Jedi
okay,
would have made them way less boring.
Hold up, this is basically Rebel season 5. So like, he's just gonna do it in the next season.
It
of
would have been.
Rebels.
All I'm saying is, it would have been cool to see Ezra and her.
I've
training
seen
together.
multiple people on the casting crew just be like, "Yeah, this is just live action Rebels."
Yeah, no.
We're
What's
just doing more
Rosita
Rebels.
Dawson said it was.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm fine with that. I came around to liking Rebels around towards
Rebels
the end.
gets good at the end of like halfway through season 2, I'd say, is when it picks
The
up.
first season is so boring.
Season 1
So
is a slog.
boring. Skip the whole first season.
Well, there's probably like a couple important
Watch
episodes.
Watch the last.
I'm sure you
episode of
can
the season.
find online like a list of like the super important ones.
Yeah, I'll just tell you. Watch the last season watch the last episode in season 1.
Don't listen to Sam. Look at a list of actual
Nah.
episode
Okay,
titles
watch
and numbers.
the first one so you know just like who the characters are because they introduced them in the first episode. Watch the last one because nothing happens that's important in between those 2 episodes.
Well, they introduced him being a Jedi and stuff.
Yeah, he's a young boy on a desert planet with dreams of.
I'm sure you can pick up via context clues what's happening.
If you're not like a child and you can like figure things out, then yeah, just skip the first season.
If you're one of our rare non-6-year-old listeners.
Just skip the first season.
Just
You don't
skip
need
that
it. It's
first season.
boring. Yeah, but Rebels gets good. Rebels
Rebels does
definitely
get
gets good. It turns around. In my opinion, it turns around. I did not like the first 2 seasons very much.
All right, want to do Emmy noms?
Let's get into some M's.
So,
M's, noms. Oh
there's-
wait, let me pull this. I can actually pull up.
There's
and
1,000 Emmy nominations. I was thinking we just do the major ones.
Emmy
So-
nominations and now.
Outstanding comedy series. By the way,
What-
these
what
are just
article are you on?
nominees. I'm just on the Emmy website.
Okay, why is the Emmy website not the first one? New York
I don't know.
Times, Variety, Entertainment Weekly, CNN, Vulture, NBC News, Los Angeles. The first page does not have it on here. That's cool. Emmy website. There we go. Television Academy. You have to Google a different thing to get that. Okay. And the nominations are not the first thing on the first page. These guys are really bad at this.
Sam
Complete
tries to use
nominations.
internet.
Here we go.
Number
Okay.
1.
There we are.
Are you on Outstanding Comedy Series?
I'm on Outstanding Animated Program.
Okay, look at Outstanding Comedy Series first.
Outstanding casting for a comedy series.
What are you on?
I'm on their document with a list of all
their
their.
document? Are you on a
There's a
list?
60-page document they
Oh,
released.
I'm on like their website where you can like pool like there's a drop down menu and select them.
Awards, maybe?
Okay, what are
Nominations.
you? Emmys.com.
Nominees and winners, yes.
Okay,
Here we go. Okay. Outstanding comedy series.
here we go.
Select a
So,
nominee below
nom-
for more details.
Nominees: Abbott Elementary, Barry, Jury Duty on Freevee. I've never heard of that in my life. Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, The Bear, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and Wednesday.
Is Wednesday a comedy?
Yeah, I guess. It's like a teen comedy, I guess.
I did not know it was a comedy.
What would you say it is?
I would say it's like a drama.
But it's like a jokey drama. It's not super serious. When is it?
Yeah, but it's not jokey either. Like,
I mean, a lot of these aren't very jokey. Okay.
No, but like Ted Lasso, I would argue is a comedy.
So Abbott Elementary,
Abbott Elementary is definitely a comedy.
Barry,
The Bear is a comedy.
Barry season 4, there's barely any comedy.
Yeah, like some of these are in the wrong place.
Well, okay, but like Barry started out more comedic and gets darker as it goes. So I get you can't really switch the genre.
Why can't you switch the genre?
Jury Duty, Only Murder. So I have seen 4.5 of these.
I've seen 3 of these.
I've seen Abbott, I've seen Barry, I've seen Only Murders, and I've seen Ted Lasso. I've seen the first season of The Bear. I haven't seen the second season, which is what's nominated, and then never in my life heard of Jury Duty, and then I haven't seen Miss Maisel. You've seen Wednesday.
I guess I'm the resident Wednesdays have seen her.
Abbott's gonna win.
Is it?
Actually, I don't know.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso probably will win.
Oh, Ted Lasso will definitely win
because it's its final season.
Because Apple will spend $1 billion.
No, I feel like
sure
Ted Lasso is going to win because it's the final season of that show.
Yes, and also who wins awards?
The rich people,
the ones who pay the judges the most. Which one of these studios has the most money?
Let's see what do we got. We have Disney, Amazon, Apple, and Netflix.
Yeah, so Apple's worth more than any of those other two you could combine. So I'm thinking Apple.
Yeah, I do think Ted Lasso is going to win, though, because they love that show, and it's its final season. Barry also had its final season. So did Miss Maisel. But they don't care.
I'm gonna pull
Barry should win. Of the 4 I've seen, Barry is by far the best of them. But
clearly
it's not
you
going
haven't seen Wednesday
to win. So
clearly you need to watch Wednesday.
All right.
You'd be one of
drama series.
Where's that?
Outstanding drama series. This is basically the best picture of television.
Drama.
Yep.
Drama series.
Andor got in there.
Let's go, baby.
Better Call Saul, House of the Dragon, Succession, The Crown, The Last of Us, The White Lotus, Yellow Jackets.
This is
quite a
list.
quality bunch.
I don't care about The Crown at all. I don't care about Succession at all. As far as I'm aware, those are the same show. The White Lotus I've never heard of.
Wait, The Crown's in there? Oh yeah, it is.
I saw House of the Dragon. It was really good. I don't think it was the best. I think Andor is better than House of the Dragon.
I have seen 2 of these.
Andor's really good, but you know what? I think The Last of Us might be the best of the 3 that I've seen.
It's not going to win.
It's not going to win. There's no way it wins. But out of House of the Dragon, Andor, and The Last of Us, I think The Last of Us is
here's how this is looking. Succession has a 99% chance of winning.
Doesn't it just win every time?
The Crown has a 0.5% chance because they love The Crown. Like a lot.
What's the difference between those two shows?
Succession is about like a corporation and like a family that runs it, and like their dad is dying who runs the corporation, and so all the children are competing to take over. And The Crown is about the royal family. I think Succession will definitely win. It just wrapped up its final season, which everybody was raving about for months. Better Call Saul should have a chance, but there's no way it wins. Andor has no chance. The White Lotus has no chance. Neither does Yellow Jackets.
I think it's funny that Better Call Saul is going to win no awards.
So Succession is 100% locked in to win that category.
I think Better Call Saul has been nominated for every season and never won.
True.
Ever.
It's never won a single Emmy in any category.
Which is kind of sad.
But
a little bit funny.
Limited or anthology series? I'm going to go back and do the actors later.
Limited or anthology.
So we got, this only has 5 noms.
I want Beef to win.
Beef, Dahmer.
No, screw Dahmer.
We have Beef, Dahmer, Monster.
Sorry, Dahmer fans. I'm not a Dahmer fan. I didn't even watch it.
Dahmer - Monster : the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
That's too much. Too many words.
Why did they give it 2?
Why did they give it 3 titles?
Especially since they're doing another season of Monster, which is like about the serial killers.
But not related to
But the first season is called Dahmer, so it's whatever.
That's good. That's smart. That's good naming.
Yeah, it's like, it's obvious that they were like, well, we can't have, Dahmer has to be the title of the show.
No, but it didn't.
It's obvious the title
didn't have to be that.
It's obvious the title was Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Which would have sold
and
just
they were going to do more seasons of
would have
Monster.
Gotten just as many views.
Monster, the serial killer here story. But then the Netflix AI said, no, it has to have Dahmer in the title. So instead of just calling it Dahmer. They called it Dahmer and then put the original title after that. Anyway, we've talked about that before.
Dumb.
Daisy
What is
Jones,
Daisy
and the
Jones?
Six.
What is that?
Fleischman is in trouble, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who let Obi-Wan Kenobi in here?
Yeah, for real though. Like, actually, that show was. I mean, it was okay.
It was
but
like
it was not great.
It was like the definition of mid.
One episode was cool. The rest were like kind of boring.
Beef is probably gonna win. I would say.
Alrighty.
I would guess.
I'm locking in beef.
It's definitely. I can bet you now. It's never going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Let's do reality.
Okay.
Host. Wait, which one is the best? Outstanding host? What's the main
Host
award in this
for
category?
structured reality program.
Yeah, here we go. I guess that's the closest we have.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, these are so lame.
Antiques Roadshow,
Oh,
Diners,
ugh.
Drive-ins, and Dives, Love is Blind, Queer Eye 5, or Shark Tank.
These are so lame.
These are lame.
You know what? Skip it. I don't care anymore. These are too
Well,
lame.
hang on. Let's do limited internet. Let's do television.
Okay,
movie.
actually, the only one of these we watched is Love is Blind, so we'll go with
I've
that.
seen 2 episodes of Love is Blind.
Yeah, and it was pretty insane.
Let's do outstanding television movie.
Where's that one?
We just go to the thing. It's under limited or anthology series.
Okay, television
comma,
movie. Here
movie.
we go. All right, we got
Dolly
Parton's
Mountain Magic Christmas, Fire Island, Hocus Pocus 2, Prey, and Weird the Al Yankovic Story.
Prey is actually the best one of these.
So Prey is
easily
the best movie here.
Prey is easily the best.
But I really like Weird the Al Yankovic Story.
I still have not seen it. Prey is easily the best of these. It's not even like close.
But Fire Island is gonna win.
But Prey was actually good.
It's weird that they consider a television movie. It's like
Because it
some
released on Hulu.
it's some streaming movies are normal movies and some streaming movies are considered television movies.
I think it's maybe just because whatever it was made for.
Yeah.
Although wasn't Prey supposed to come out in theaters, but COVID happened?
I think
thought
it was
it was
always
supposed
supposed
to
to
come
come out on Hulu. It shouldn't have come out on Hulu.
No, it was really good.
But they released it on Hulu because
All right.
morons.
let's
Variety.
Variety series.
Variety
What
talk
do we got?
series.
Picture not available. Picture not available. And picture not
It's
available.
loading. Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Aquafina is hanging with Grandma.
What are you looking at?
Outstanding short form comedy, drama, or variety series. We got Aquafina is
short form. Okay.
hanging with Grandma. Better Call Saul filmmaker training. Carpool Karaoke the series. I think you should leave. I think I should leave this category. And Only Murderers in the Building. The One Killer Question.
Yeah, no, these are.
I'm going.
Shows.
Aquafina is hanging.
No, I'm
with
looking
Grandma.
at Variety Talk series. It's in the Variety category.
Variety talk series.
We got Jimmy Kimmel
okay,
Live.
wait. Why
This is the late night show.
Why
category.
is short form talk? Why is one
I
of
don't
them
know.
in a
There's-
different thing?
There's way too many Emmy categories.
Okay, we got Jimmy Kimmel Live,
Mm-hmm.
Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, and The Problem with Jon Stewart.
Where's John Oliver?
Where's
John Oliver. Oh, he's in a different category.
what was the name of our show? that
Why
we
is he in
made
a
up?
different category?
Where's Last Week Tomorrow Tonight?
What was that? That wasn't what it was called.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. No, I think they moved John Oliver. Normally, John Oliver swept this category.
All right, I'm going Trevor Noah because he's the only one I've seen clips of on
No,
TikTok.
I'm gonna go Jon Stewart because he talks about politics.
So does Trevor Noah.
No, every year.
And Stephen Colbert. All three of those guys talk about politics.
It's true. They're mostly political talk. Anyway, we could do actors, but that would take too long, and I'm bored.
Well, let's find a funny one.
Comedy lead actor?
Sure.
Do that one.
Oh, let's do guest actor.
Oh, we got
That's funny.
outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. We have Bill Hader, Jason Segel, Martin Short, Jason Sudeikis, and Jeremy Allen White. So it's gonna be Jason Sudeikis again, because Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
The actor in a drama series. We have okay, there's 6 nominees for lead actor in a drama series, and half of them are
that's
from
so-
the TV show Succession.
So lame. I don't care about Succession at all. Stop.
How did
Stop
Jeff
talking
Bridges get in here?
Who is Jeff Bridges? Oh, Jeff Bridges.
From The Old Man on FX. How'd you get in here, Jeff Bridges? Who let you in?
Is that Macaulay Culkin's brother?
Yep.
Got a weird
It's
name.
Kieran.
Why do they both have weird names?
Macaulay.
What kind of name's Macaulay? Have you ever met anyone named Macaulay or Kieran?
Nope.
Kieran sounds like an anime character.
I mean, I've never met anyone named Bob, but
Okay, but Bob as a name exists.
Well, Kieran is
Okay,
a name
look at these names: Jeff,
Mhm.
Brian, Bob, Pedro, and Jeremy.
Yep.
those are the most normal 5 names in existence.
That is true. Those are the most boring
And then we
names
have
I've ever seen.
Kieran Culkin, who actually sounds like an anime character.
I also like how everyone else is like these professional like headshots, and then
he's like
he's not even looking at the camera, and he's like it's like on blue background.
It's like he's doing I can't remember. Whatever. He's making a weird face.
Lead actress in a comedy series. Oh hey, Natasha Lyonne got in here.
For which one?
For lead actress in a comedy series.
Lead actress comedy series.
Rachel Brosnahan made it in. Quinta Brunson and Jenna Ortega and Christina Applegate.
Okay, again, Wednesday, not a comedy.
I think it's a comedy.
I would argue she's not even like okay.
It's a lot of like deadpan humor.
Even if you argue the show is a comedy, I would argue Jenna Ortega is not like a comedic character in the show. Like she doesn't do funny things or say funny things. She just like kind of is just.
I'd say like her delivery is the joke. The fact
just
that she's
her
so
being
deadpan.
like monotone.
Yeah, the joke is that it's deadpan.
But she's not even monotone the whole time.
I've not seen Wednesday. I'm just assuming that that's what the show is. I'm the one person alive who hasn't watched the TV show Wednesday.
I am of the opinion Wednesday is not a comedy. I would not classify it as such.
Okay, well, take it up with the television Academy.
Christina Applegate, your last name is still funny.
No, there's too many nominees, and also the show might be pushed back like 6 months because there might be an actor strike. So we'll see if the Emmys even really happen this year.
Unstructured reality program. Here we go.
Look at those, Sam. What's going on here? Is that where RuPaul's
Indian matchmaking? RuPaul's Untucked.
Yep, RuPaul is always in there.
Selling Sunset, which I've never heard of. Vanderpump Rules and Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh, hey, Welcome to Wrexham made it in there.
That one will probably.
That's not a variety series. That's a documentary.
No, this is unstructured reality program.
I guess
you could put any documentary. Yeah, again, these categories do not make sense.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird how many categories there are and how nonsense.
There's also nonfiction or reality series, which could be literally anything ever.
Nonfiction or reality series.
Literally anything could fall under this. The nominees are House of the Dragon, Inside the Episode. Okay.
These are just behind the scenes stuff for a bunch of other shows.
Which is not the main behind the scenes series for House of the Dragon. That's called The House That Dragons Built. It's a different thing. Saturday Night Live presents Behind the Sketch, Succession controlling the narrative, The Last of Us Inside the Episode, and The White Lotus unpacking the episode.
All right. Well, I think I normally we used to go every year and just do every single category, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's going to take
You can look up the Emmy nominees yourself.
We can.
In short, Succession was nominated for everything several times. Ted Lasso was nominated for everything several times. And those two shows will sweep pretty much every drama and comedy award. And you might see like one upset. So that's what we're looking at, everybody.
That sounds super
And then after
cool.
this year, The Crown and Abbott Elementary will go back to winning every award every single year.
Why does Abbott Elementary win? Okay, like, no hate to Abbott Elementary, but it's like very
Hollywood loves that show. I don't really know. It's a fine show.
Like, it's okay. Like, it's fine.
It's doing network mockumentary sitcom.
It's the only one that's really still around.
It's doing that. It's doing it well, but it's not like doing anything bold or interesting with it.
No, it's like very much like The Office in a classroom.
The most interesting thing that show did was at the end of the second season when the will they won't they like
actually happened in the first season.
And it didn't happen. Well, like at the end of season 2. Did you watch the second season of that show?
Yeah, no, I did. No, but like they did like they're okay. Compare their will they won't they to like Jim and Pam. Like they're going record speed.
Yeah. No, I liked at the end of season 2 when they decided not to be a couple. And I hope they aren't a couple.
Oh no, they will.
They probably will, but I feel like that would be an interesting take on it if they didn't do that.
There's like no other ongoing plot other than that.
Yeah. Again, that would be interesting if they didn't do that, but I feel like they will. Like again, it's a mockumentary network sitcom.
Is this one? I don't remember.
That's just doing like stuff we've seen before.
Is this one committed?
Well, but nothing very new.
Is this one committed to the mockumentary thing, or is it just like a framing device?
No, they say in the first episode that there's like a documentary crew following.
Okay, so it's not like Parks.
It's not like Parks and Rec where like they would just like drop it.
That's so dumb. I don't know why they did that.
That and Brooklyn Nine-Nine both just like
no, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine doesn't have cutaways.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine never did the talking heads. They would just do like the shaky cam,
which is fine. Like I'm okay with that. I just don't like the talking. If you're not if you're not doing the mockumentary, then don't do the talking heads because that doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's because it's easy to write stories using this.
Yeah, because you can have every character
'Cause it's-
easily explain
Well, because
every
it's
all their
guaranteed,
motivation.
like you can stop and do exposition and then have jokes.
Yeah.
Like
you don't
can
have to
always
like
just stop and do like it's not as hard.
you don't have to make it like work as a story.
No. Anyway, well, let's touch on Mission Impossible real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
You're not going to talk about My Adventures with Superman?
We might touch on it, but we saw Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, the longest title of the summer, and the third movie to come out.
Oh my gosh.
That
it
is
was
a
so
part
long.
one of
it
a.
was
of a two-
so long. Oh my goodness.
This one wasn't as long as some other ones.
But it was
Actually,
really
no,
long.
I think this might have been the longest one.
Really long.
About 2:45. No, I'm not saying a time. That's how long the runtime is. 2 hours 45 minutes.
I was sitting in there and I was like, all right.
So, Sam, you for context, you have seen one Mission Impossible movie
I have seen this one.
and the first one.
I don't know. I don't think I have seen
I
the
think
first
you've
one.
definitely seen the first one.
I can guarantee you I haven't because I did not recognize any of the characters from the first one.
I guess.
And
Well,
they
there's only
they
two
flash back to that all the time in this one.
No, they don't.
Whatever
You
they're
might be
flashing back
thinking-
to, I've not seen. I don't think I've seen the ending of the one where he has to go underwater into that safe or whatever he's breaking into underwater.
Rogue Nation.
Yes, I've seen that part. And I've seen the end of the one where they trap that guy in a glass box.
Also Rogue Nation.
Okay, then I've only seen the ending of Rogue Nation. And that's the only one I have seen.
So, at different points throughout my life, I saw the first one, the second one, the sixth one, and the fifth one. I had never seen the third or the fourth. And then over the past 2 weeks, I rewatched the ones I had seen, and I watched the ones I hadn't for the first time. And I'd say 5 of 6 are very good. 2 is very bad. And this one, I think, was really, really strong. I'd say, in terms of like my ranking of them, I'd say Fallout is still the best one, like as a movie overall.
Sure, yeah.
I'd put this one in like a solid 3rd or 4th place.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. This is not an amazing movie, but it is a very good movie, and a definitely movie worth seeing on a movie theater screen.
Yeah, there's a lot of big scenes.
Definitely one of the better movies to come out this summer, probably the 3rd best in my book.
So this movie was the train scene from Indiana Jones mixed with the spy plot of John Wick. And there was another movie I said that it was also
Fast and Furious.
Yes, and the locations of Fast and
This is
Furious.
like the 4th movie to come out this year, where at some point someone drives through Venice and blows half of it up.
Okay, it got you. Okay, in Fast and Furious, there's the part where that ball's rolling around and it breaks through that balcony that like rolls up to the Vatican.
Yeah, and they literally at one point in this movie they drive a car through
the
that exact
same
same spot.
balcony.
Yeah, it's getting, and I know it's a complete coincidence,
But
because
it's
this
funny.
started shooting before Fast X did.
but it's
like,
very funny.
it's very funny that
same exact thing
because
happened.
John Wick, I'm pretty sure, also has a scene
And
in
John
Venice.
Wick
Or in
also
the big circle.
Yeah, there's a scene in the big circle which Fast and Furious also did.
Also,
And there's a shootout in a church, which John Wick also did. And John Wick also like had the scene where he's in the desert killing that guy.
this also has a desert
And this
scene.
movie also has a scene where he's in a desert.
What a weird
although in this one he's
coincidence
getting
and
killed
mix
by
of
guys.
things.
It's like a fusion dance of all the like action movies we've seen
Yeah,
so far this
I
year.
thought this one was really strong. This one is the goofiest premise-wise by far, in terms of like, and I'd say it's somewhat of a spoiler because they didn't put it in the trailer.
Yeah,
But
like who the villain is.
It's really goofy.
So yeah, I guess
It's
can we
kind of a
spoil it?
stretch. You kind of either
They introduced it in like the first 10 minutes.
yeah, you're either gonna no, but they didn't put it in the trailer, so I don't. If you don't want to know, I wouldn't say. But
Okay,
like,
fine.
it's either something you're gonna buy it. You're either gonna buy it, or it's just gonna take you out of it. But I feel like there's like more absurd stuff that's happened in this franchise before, where like I don't think it's that much of a stretch.
You know what?
Where it should be like
I
a
think
real problem.
If certain products did not release very recently, it would have seemed a lot more absurd. But because of certain products that have released in the last 6 months and become very popular in the last 6 months, I think the villain of this movie is a lot more believable as like a real life force.
Other stuff. Everyone Who Returns.
And we'll talk about the villain when we get
is
to
great.
spoilers.
Vig Rhames, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, and Tommy Cruise. still looks like he's 51, even though he's 61.
I did not know he was 60.
Boy, he is getting up there, but he looks
jumped
great.
on a cliff.
He
and
looks
he's
great.
60 years old.
There is a couple. So this movie was been shooting for shot for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Through COVID, and there is a couple shots where you can see what was later on and what was shot earlier.
There's scenes where there's just like they're in what should be a very populated area, and there's just no one around.
Yeah, and there's a couple shots where like Tom Cruise's hairline has receded a little bit than it is earlier on in the movie. And I don't know, that could just be like a wig thing. Like the wigs got mixed up, but it looks like his hair was a little bit fuller.
Like when
they started shooting it, it receded a
when
little
they're
bit
running
at the end.
around in Venice. Venice is like empty. Like there's no humans around.
Yeah, and they go to a nightclub at one point, and most of the nightclub scene takes place with like a room and like 8 people.
Yeah, like they never actually go into the nightclub. They stay in like their own little box.
Yeah.
So that they didn't have to interact with like other actors.
A lot of the chase scenes is just cars driving around.
The chase scenes go on. The one in Venice goes on for
I would say
too long.
In a similar way to so like pretty much every movie I feel like that's come out this summer, it's 20 minutes too long at the least. And just like Indiana Jones, which we talked about on the last episode, it's mainly the action sequences that stretch on for too long.
Yeah.
Like, there's a car. It's in the trailer. The car chase. It's probably like.
I feel like
in the first hour, they're driving around Venice, and that scene just at a certain point starts to drag. Like it just keeps going and going and going and going. And
I feel like with Indiana Jones, like the scenes went on for too long, but it felt like there was always an escalation. Like it felt like it kept getting more like extreme. As to what was going on.
One just kind of felt like it capped out at a point and it just kept going.
Like with the car one, like I would say it probably tops out on like extremeness, like when the car doors get ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably like around when it peaks, and then it just going and they change cars
and they stop to do a joke
and they do a bit for 5 minutes and it literally like 5 minutes and then they keep going and then they keep going and then they stop and then they keep going and it just doesn't end and it doesn't like escalate in intensity. It just kind of rides that wave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just felt like there was a lot of, and the same with the train scene at the very end when they're like hopping.
I liked that scene, but I can see how you can think it went on for
I liked the first part when they're hopping the train car and then they hop another train car, and then they hop another train car, and then they hop another train car, and I'm like, are they going to go through every car in this train? How many train cars are going to fall off here? And also towards
the start, when they explain the MacGuffin of this one, there's like 3 straight scenes in a row where they keep re-explaining the MacGuffin.
Oh my gosh! Yes, we get it.
And I get that he's like explaining it to different characters, but like. The audience has seen you explain this before.
Skip the explanation.
You don't need to keep telling me I got it. And also they keep like, there's a bit at the end where they kind of act like it's a twist, but it's not, because we saw the start of the movie. So I don't know. It's a lot of stuff they could have cut out, but I really liked this. I thought Haley Atwell was great. She really held her own.
Was she the one who played Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
Peggy Carter.
Yeah, I liked her. Yeah. She was cool.
Other additions, Isaiah Morales plays the villain. He's not...
He is a villain.
He's a villain, and he
is the most regular villain.
He has a connection to Tom Cruise's past that I'm sure will be more emphasized in part 2. But it's not really in this one. He's just kind of a guy playing role.
I am the villain of the movie.
Yeah,
and then they go, "Why are you the villain?" He goes, "Because I am."
Pom Klementieff is also in this one. She plays rip-off Diet Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Great value Harley Quinn.
Her name is Paris.
Yeah, dumb name.
Yeah.
Why are you named Paris?
Because she speaks Italian.
I just realized.
Yeah, that's why her name's Paris.
She speaks Italian.
Yes. She speaks Italian in that one scene at the end. She doesn't speak at any other point in the movie, I don't think.
I'm pretty sure she's speaking French.
Well, she lived in Rome.
She's from France, though.
From France, or is she from Paris?
Her name is Paris, and she speaks French.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
And Pom Klementieff is from France.
I got France and Italy mixed up.
Yeah, you did. At one point in the movie, you were like, they keep speaking Italian, and I'm like, Sam, they're in France.
Well, because Rome is in Italy.
Oh, yeah, because I'm getting it confused. They were speaking French, but they were in
that's
Venice.
Why I was, because I don't know how French and Italian sound. I just assumed, we're in Italy. They're speaking Italian.
By the way, I was joking. Paris is not a dumb name. It's just weird.
Well, no, like, it's fine to be named Paris. It's just, like, it's weird that her name's
That her
Paris.
name is Paris,
and it's
and
only
she's from
because she
Paris.
speaks. Yeah, it's just because she's from Paris. That's like our name. That'd be like if my name was Texas. Like Texas is not inherently like
I
a
will
dumb
name
name.
this child White Settlement.
Yeah, but like you're only named that because you're from
you're
there.
from there.
That's dumb.
Anyway, I thought that I don't have a lot to say about this one. I really just had a fun time. It was a fun romping adventure.
Yeah, I had fun. It was a good time. The action scenes felt like good. They were cool.
They're well done. The stunts.
The stakes are like managed very well.
Mm-hmm. All the characters have something to do.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
I like
okay.
that they brought up the fact that Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames' characters are both the computer guys.
But they both give them different things.
And they
to do,
both
which
get.
I
I just like they have a little quibble at the start. Who's the better computer guy? And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm glad they finally brought this up. That they basically have the same job.
Two guys in the chair.
Yeah, everyone's really great in this. They all have something to do. It's also a good, nice, funny movie. It's got good jokes. It's just a really good time, and it's a high recommendation for me. It's good to see an action film where you can actually be like, hey, that's a real person doing a real thing. I was watching the trailer for Wonka, to go back to that, and there's a point where like he hops off a train and spins around a pole, and I'm like,
that is a puppet.
he's animated spinning around the pole. He can just spin around a pole.
Timothy Chalamet is perfectly
Why are we-
capable of spinning around.
That doesn't need to be CGI. Why is that CGI?
Because Timothy Chalamet is a union worker,
'Cause he
and
refuses.
the CGI guy isn't. So it's cheaper to pay
Yeah.
the CGI guy for 2 hours of animating a guy spinning than it is to pay Timothy Chalamet to spin in real life.
Just it's and you can tell which stuff is CGI in this movie and which stuff is real, but a lot of it is real. And a lot of it's really well done. And
you know what? A lot of it was real until the end, and then
well,
everything was fake.
the big scene at the end, of course, they couldn't do that for real. But like
No, but they could have done some of it.
him
for
jumping
real.
off the cliff and parachuting,
That was
that's
all
all
real.
real. The car chase, a lot of that's real. A lot of it.
And you can tell the parachute scene's real because they only did one take.
Yep.
You can tell
A little bit of ADR in there.
because he's like,
Yeah, good take it a lot. Just ADR that in. Just ADR that in. Anyway, also, we talked about this as the third part one of the year.
Yeah, we had
Spider-Verse and Fast X.
Yeah, Fast X just like stopped in the middle of
This
the movie.
is the first one to feel like an actual complete film.
Yeah, you feel like the hero has accomplished something.
Yeah,
today.
where we're at a good stopping
we got
point.
somewhere.
Yeah. It didn't feel like we just stopped in the middle of a
But not
movie.
only did we get somewhere, but it's like it's very clear what the next step is.
Yeah.
So I think that was way better done than okay, movie done.
We got a good
Moving on.
We got
Next thing.
We got to a good stopping point, and now we're all just gonna sit. And now we're gonna anticipate the next one. It didn't feel like Fast X were like, it just like the
It just stopped.
it got like Fast X and Spider-Verse felt like, oh, we hit 2 hours 5 minutes. Okay, cut the movie.
Hit the big red stop button.
and now release it. This one felt like they actually wrote it to.
They
feel
planned
like
on it being
they,
two parts.
They planned the second part.
Yeah.
That's the difference here. Because Fast X, they didn't start writing the second part until after the first movie came out, and Spider-Verse they haven't even started working on yet.
Well, they've written the second part, but they have not started production.
no, yeah, it's very clear that like they started this Mission Impossible movie knowing where all of this would end up.
Yeah.
Unlike Fast X, where they were just like, just go, and then at the end we'll figure it out later.
Should we talk about the villain?
Now we'll touch on spoilers for a minute. The villain is a computer AI.
The villain is Ultron mixed with that thing from Winter Soldier mixed with Chat GPT.
It's an AI that can get into every computer on the planet, and all the governments want to get a magic key so that they can unlock the AI source code so that they can use the AI as a weapon for World War III. And Ethan Hunt has gone rogue because he wants to destroy the weapon before anyone can do that.
I think this might be the most realistic version of the evil AI story we've seen in movies so far.
The most realistic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're comparing this to like Age of Ultron.
Like if we compare it to Terminator, to Age of Ultron, to Winter Soldier, which I think are the three most popular versions of that, I think this is the most potentially real version of
yeah, where it's just an AI program that just wants to like. They don't. Okay.
All of the things that the AI program does
Is for its
Our
own
thing-
self-preservation.
well, but are things that an AI could potentially do
Yeah.
in our real world right now.
Tell a
Like
guy what
maybe
to do.
not with evil motives. Like AI don't have motives.
Yeah,
in
it's
the real
basically
world.
just a prediction.
But
thing. It's just analyzing.
All the things that AI does and AI in our real world could do tomorrow.
A lot of what it does is just analyze scenarios and tell possible outcomes.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
And like the part of it, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, where like the stuff that the government wants to do with it too. Also, all stuff that AI not only can do but has been doing actively for the last several years in terms of like the YouTube algorithm, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Those are all AI algorithms designed to control specific ideas and what is pop culture and what is popular to think.
It was really, really funny, and this is probably pure coincidence, but that's the dog again.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny and probably pure coincidence that Tom Cruise, who's like Mr. Preserving cinema and the movie theater experience and like original films and everything like that, he's Mr. Movies, and in this film he's fighting an evil AI.
Yeah.
And all Hollywood is talking about right now is how studios are trying to use AI to
and like I said,
control their streaming services and decide what content to delete.
I don't know that that this villain would have worked as well as it does if ChatGPT hadn't come out so, relatively speaking, close to this movie's release. Because, and you guys can look this up, but the OpenAI has talked about this, but an AI successfully fooled a human into doing a CAPTCHA for it in order for the AI to complete a task. That has happened in our real world, which happens in this movie. Like, that is essentially what the villain is doing, is he's working for the AI because the AI is, like, manipulating him. And it knows everything about you, so it would know the perfect way to manipulate you. But in our real world, they took ChatGPT 4. This was before it was released. This was when they were doing experiments on it to make sure it didn't get out of control. They gave it, like, a set amount of money. They're like, here's, like, a wallet. You have this amount of money. Make X amount of money with this money. And in that process, the AI was trying to get onto a page that had a CAPTCHA, like one of those "Are you a robot?" things. And it chose to go on Fiverr, hire a human being, told that human being that it was another human being with a visual impairment, and so he could not do the CAPTCHA, and successfully convinced that human into doing the CAPTCHA for it. And so, and they had also published like the internal logic of the AI as it was processing this. It was like, if I lie, the outcome of success is X. If I tell this person the truth, the outcome of success is this. So if I want to accomplish my goal, it is more likely to be finished if I lie. So therefore, I will lie. Like, these are things that are happening right now.
Yeah, I really like the part in the movie. It's towards the end where Pom Clementieff's character has been spared. Earlier on in the movie, is spared by Tom Cruise. He doesn't kill her. He lets her live. And the AI predicts that because of that, she will end up
betray them,
joining the team later on and becoming good. And so the villain shoots her to eliminate the possibility. And I
was like, okay, well, maybe she would have done that, but now she's definitely gonna do that.
And she survived. She's gonna be in the next one, unlike Rebecca Ferguson's character. They killed her off. I was kind of surprised by that.
She got stabbed,
especially since she was like the more recent.
But they replaced her with an equally hot person with the same skill set.
Yeah, I could see why some people might think it's troublesome.
They just did the like skin.
Well,
swap.
Okay, so Mission Impossible, they did 4 movies. The first 4 movies, there was the female character of each one never carried on to the next one. They would always be replaced by a different character.
Tom Cruise is just too cool.
Ving Rhames has been in all of them, and Simon Pegg has been in all of them since 3. But the female characters never stuck around. Some of them made more sense than others. Like the one in the first movie goes to jail, so like it makes sense why she wouldn't be in the next.
Yeah.
One. But like, and so Rebecca Ferguson was who they introduced in the 5th one, and she was in 5, 6, and this one. But they kill her off in this, and I felt like I can see why some people might be upset that they killed off the only recurring female character and replaced her with just a different female character.
I feel like the way they killed her and the reason is actually really cool.
Yeah, it made sense. It made sense, and it was a good death, and it worked. But I just felt like I could see why some people would be upset about that. But I do, when they do the next one, number 8, which at one point was supposed to be the last one, but apparently is now not, I want them to bring everybody back. They brought Kittredge back for this one, all the way back from Mission Impossible 1. I thought that was great. I want them to bring all the characters back. The team from Mission Impossible 3, who are never mentioned again. The lady from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is one I really like. Bring her back. Bring Jeremy Renner back. I want everyone to come back for the next one.
When is Jeremy Renner in it?
He's in 5 and 6. No, 4 and 5.
Yeah, I know nothing about these.
He was
movies.
back in so they did the
He
first.
was Jason Bourne.
So quick history lesson. They did. He was Jason Bourne. No, he was a different Bourne. Was he named Bourne?
I think he was Jason Bourne. I think he played Jason Bourne
No,
in a Jason Bourne.
They
movie.
did when Matt Damon was done. They did a fourth Bourne movie with him.
Yeah, with Jeremy Renner.
But I don't think he was playing. I think he was playing like a different guy.
I'm like 90% sure he was.
He wasn't
Jason
playing.
Bourne.
He was playing Kenneth James Kitsom. Aaron Cross. He was not playing Jason Bourne. It was called The Bourne Legacy, but it was about a guy not named Jason Bourne.
A different man, just a different guy.
But then
Jason
they did
Bourne.
another Bourne movie after that, and nobody liked that one. Remember they did another Bourne movie. Remember that, everybody? No one cared. Anyway, again, this is really good. Looking forward to the next one. Only a year away.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
It's not like Fast X where it's 2 years, or Spider-Man where it's
I would
4
say
to 5 years.
I think I liked it like equally as much as I liked Indiana Jones.
I like this one more than I liked Indiana.
Like I think this was
But
probably.
I think you were definitely more positive on Indiana Jones than I was.
Well, I was more. I'm more invested in Indiana Jones. Like I've seen those movies. I'm a fan of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like both of these.
I'm not
but
a huge fan of Mission Impossible. I think this movie was good. I don't think it was bad. I'm just not a big Mission
I
Impossible
definitely
fan.
became more of a Mission Impossible fan by watching all of them. If I was going to rank them, all 7.
I can tell that I would probably like them if I went and watched. Like from this movie, I can extrapolate that the other ones.
It's
are
a really
positive.
interesting franchise because it's been going for like 27 years, and the first 5 movies, it's a different director every time. So it's fun to like trace not only like how each director's style like just keeps changing each time, but also like how the franchise like changes throughout the decades.
It did
Because it starts off in like 1996, and then they just
It did feel a little bit Fast and Furious-y with the like, this guy from your past is now more important.
They retcon,
and this other person from your past is also here.
They try to tap it into like Ethan Hunt's origin, which we've never seen before. So,
which I guess they'll get into in the next one.
I guess they'll get into in the next one. I applaud them for doing a flashback origin scene and not CGI de-aging the lead actor.
Yeah, it's just
they just don't show his face.
Yeah.
They show a flashback and they just don't show his face. And I was like, thank you.
Good.
Thank you. I don't have to
that's
look at
weird.
digitally. Again, I think that's Tom Cruise preserving movie magic. I think he's probably against doing that. Good on you, Tom Cruise. You're weird.
He's also pro going into space.
He's a weird man, but he sure does know how to make movies. And not age. He's found eternal youth and the secret to movie magic.
Maybe Lord Xenu's got some magic aging serum that keeps him young forever.
Maybe we should join Scientology.
maybe they're right.
Scientology is a horrible organization.
It's just a scam.
No, it's not even a scam.
It's a pyramid
run
scheme.
by like actual horrible, detestable people
It is a pyramid scheme run by crazy people
who hide sexual assaults and threaten victims of various crimes that they've committed.
That's cool. Those are the guys you want in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
You want those guys backing you up, because then if you ever do anything wrong, you're good.
That worked for Danny Masterson, who's in jail for rape.
Well, so it didn't work for him.
It did not work for him. Anyway, yeah. So Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, very good. Looking forward to the next one. It's probably going to do really well because it's got dad movie support, and no movie is stronger than one with dad support.
That's true. Those movies do really good. All right, do you want to talk about Superman?
Yeah, sure. My Adventures with Superman came out. First 2 episodes are on Max in the U.S. I don't think they're anywhere internationally, so sorry if you don't have that. I thought this was good.
I think it's weird that he's a magical girl.
What?
You know what a magical girl is?
Like an
the
anime?
anime trope?
I mean, he's a...
Where they like stand still for a minute and they spin around and their suit glows and then it magically appears on their body.
Oh, that's how... Yeah, he goes into the Kryptonian
Yeah,
ship.
he does the magical girl.
Yeah,
suit
he gets a Sailor Moon transformation.
Yeah.
It was fine.
No, I think it's fine. I just think it's funny.
No, I think it's a cute show.
Yeah, it's good so far.
I liked the chemistry between the Lois Lane and Clark and Jimmy Olsen.
And Jimmy, I like Jimmy. He's funny.
Yeah,
he's
I like
goofy conspiracy guy, but not like in a creepy way. Like just he believes aliens are. Like,
yeah, I liked the focusing on the journalism stuff. I liked Clark's characterization in this.
I like the balance.
The animation was really good.
I like the balance of him trying to be on the scene for like journalist stuff, but also like trying to actively be involved in it as well.
Yeah. If there's anything I'd criticize, the villain was probably a little weak, but I feel like
that's because the villain was like a non-character.
It was Livewire, right? It was supposed to be Livewire.
I don't know.
I think it was supposed to be Livewire.
I think it was a random girl with.
Well, she had like an electricity
powers.
suit, so I'm guessing it was Livewire.
Just a girl with a robot. It was just a girl with a robot.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's at the end of the second episode, they reveal that the real villain is Deathstroke and Amanda Waller working together.
I don't know. I was not paying attention to the people who were in
Yeah.
the room,
So-
the shadowy figures.
Interested to see where it goes. I'm gonna keep watching it. It's good to
Yeah,
have a
seems
Superman
cool.
cartoon on television. We need more DC cartoons,
Yeah,
especially good ones. Young
Young
Justice ended, and it didn't end on a very high
it's
note.
Done. I thought it was still. I thought there was still
Nah,
another
they're
season.
done. They're done with Young Justice.
I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be another season of that show.
Nah, they canceled it, or it ended. I don't really know. I mean, it ended in.
It did not end.
It kind of ended.
No, it just does not finish the story.
Well, the Superboy and Miss Martian, that was kind of like the
Yeah,
end
of
show.
that season, that was the plot, but of like the story is not finished.
No, they didn't wrap up any of the Darkseid stuff
Or the Vandal Savage stuff,
or the Vandal Savage.
which is what they've been building towards for like
Harley
almost
Quinn, I guess, is
over a
still
decade
going.
now.
I don't know why this is on Adult Swim.
Yeah, it's very clearly
It's
like, for
obviously a
kids.
kid's show.
It's not violent. Like I mean, it's violent a
action,
little bit,
but, like, it's a
not
kid show.
Yeah, this is not Samurai Jack. This is not Rick and Morty.
Which makes me think they either are trying to bury this, or like,
or they just are dumb and don't know
or
what
they're
it is.
doing the opposite and they're trying to like preserve it in case Cartoon Network goes under.
Hey, but
which I
Adult
think is
Swim
a
and
very
Cartoon
real
Network, I'm
possibility.
pretty sure are the same.
No, but they just recently extended Adult Swim now airs for like 2 more hours during the day than it used to.
That I
Which
don't.
makes me think like Adult Swim will stick around and Cartoon Network will go.
That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, because the
though.
Adult Swim shows are more popular.
Why
than
is Cartoon Network
shows.
going away? Well, I
Because
don't.
they're not making anything anymore. They stopped producing original shows.
Yeah, but they could just start making original. There's no shortage of people who want.
No,
to
they
make
could,
shows.
but they just stopped. I don't know
But
why.
Why?
I don't know why.
Like Teen Titans Go makes $1 billion.
Which, by the way, has been on for 10 years.
Gumball still makes dollars.
They're gonna do more Gumball. They're gonna bring
Craig
that
of the
back.
Creek, I assume, makes dollars.
They
They
keep
keep
making
airing it.
We Baby Bears.
We
I'm
Baby
guessing.
Bears makes a lot of money in Japan. I don't know what it does in America. Like clearly, like their shows are
Yeah,
doing well.
I think the AI told them like Rick and Morty Network make more money than
Okay, but they never make
Teen
Rick and
Titans
Morty.
Go. They make it every year. They're pretty consistent.
No, they took a 3-year gap and then a 1-year gap.
Ever
and then a
since
2-year gap.
they took that like 3-year hiatus and then they've been doing it every year for like the past 3 years.
No, because they did that one half a season. And then
I'm
they took,
sure it's
and
gonna.
then they took half a year off and released
I'm
the
sure
other
it's gonna
half.
take longer now because they have to recast half of the people in the show.
They have to recast the one guy. They
Who
already
played-
did.
voiced
They
everybody.
already recast him, I'm pretty sure.
No, they haven't yet.
Or they'll just bring him back.
He was cleared of
he's
all those
cleared now.
crimes,
All good.
but they already recast him in every other show he was doing. So, might as
Solar
well.
Opposites, just
yeah,
that,
they did.
just that one show.
And Koala Man and whatever. Anyway, that's this week's episode.
That's everything, folks.
We'll be back next week for Barbenheimer, Sam. It's Barbenheimer episode next week.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing them both.
Or is it?
Which is weird.
No, we have an extra week.
Comes out on
Because
the
Mission came out on a
20
Tuesday. We're
second?
recording this on the Wednesday
It is
after.
the 12th.
Yeah, we're recording this the day after Mission Impossible came out, which means next week there will be no movie because we already talked about Mission Impossible. So
Yeah, so Barbie Oppenheimer
will
comes out
be the week after. So next week, who knows what we'll talk
Barbenheimer.
What
Next week we'll
news?
talk about probably
about? What
gaming.
news? I don't know. We'll find out. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I gotta go to the bathroom.